The following is a presentation of TBS Sports.
Jeff Green is almost there. He almost has in his possession the Busch Grand National title. Mark Martin is almost there, almost at the end of his Grand National career, marked by a record 45 wins. The 1999 champion Dale Earnhardt Jr. launched a Winston Cup effort based on his winning this series. Today, Jeff Green hopes to do the same and humble Mark Martin in Martin's final Grand National race at Charlotte. On the Superstation, WTBS, a perfect 10 of a day greets us here at Lowe's Motor Speedway for the All-Pro Bumper-to-Bumper 300, the prelude to tomorrow's UAW GM Quality 500. Two great events this weekend here on TBS. Down on pit road, 43 cars are at the ready, and one of the principals for today's event is standing by with Marty Snyder.
Well, Ken, this young man stands on the verge of writing himself into the history books to win his first ever NASCAR Busch Series championship. Jeff Green, as you get closer to this championship, do you get more excited about possibly winning it?
Well, Marty, we are excited about winning the championship, but we've got a job here today, try to win this race. That's what's on our mind, that's our focus, and so Nesquik Chevy's pretty good. So we're looking forward to today. Hopefully we made the right adjustments for the weather, and we'll be there at the end.
They were awfully fast in happy hour, going for win number 6 of the season. Jeff Green will start 15th.
Indeed, Jeff Green will be a major contender among the 43, and a good day, everyone. Ken Squire with you here at Lowe's Motor Speedway as we're just about down for that command to fire the engines and get this thing underway. $800,000 in this get-together for 300 miles, 200 miles, 300 laps of competition this afternoon. And before it's over, we should see some of the most exciting racing of the entire weekend. That's always the case with these Busch Grand National cars when they come to this great speedway. And tomorrow, of course, that UAW GM Quality 500 happy hour coming up, the last chance to get them really ready. We'll be seeing that later today. So stay with us for all of the action. Now, another of the principal stories here is definitely Mark Martin. Martin bearing down on his 7th Grand National win on this track. Stay with us to see what happens.
Oh, Becky, look. Wow. There's the Big Dipper. And there's Orion.
Daddy?
Uh-huh.
Who turns off the stars at night?
Nobody. They're on all night.
So how come we never see them from home?
Discover the world through a new set of eyes. Go RVing. Visit an RV dealer or call for a free video.
You want it? You got it. You want it? Baby, just bust a move. I wanted to chill, but making all of my travel arrangements was freaking me out. So I went to Priceline.com, where you can name your own price for some dope airfare, a hip hotel, a fly rental car. You want some of this? Then you know what to do, dog. Bust a move.
Looking for a little more excitement this season? Enjoy the most football with DirecTV and NFL Sunday Ticket at Circuit City. You'll get up to 13 games every Sunday, and right now you can save up to $400. Get your DirecTV system at Circuit City, subscribe to Total Choice Platinum programming and NFL Sunday Ticket, and get free months of Total Choice Platinum. Plus, save $100 on standard professional installation and up to $40 on powered antennas. Now at Circuit City.
Whether you drive your family around the neighborhood or the number 21 Citgo Taurus around the NASCAR circuit, you make a lot of pit stops along the way. So from Darlington to Detroit, Bristol to Boston, and just about every place in between, you can count on your local Citgo to keep you going. Gas, food, and conversation. Just what you'd expect from a neighbor.
The
All-Pro Bumper to Bumper Auto Parts 300 on the Superstation. Brought to you by Smooth Busch Beer and Easy Drinking Busch Light. Busch, the official sponsor of the NASCAR Busch Series. By Circuit City. Stop by a store near you today. Look around. Get inspired. Circuit City, the official electronics store of NASCAR. And by Citgo. You love racing. We love racing.
The seconds continue to trickle away into that electrifying moment when the call to action is given, and all of these cars will burst to life here on this mile-and-a-half track, battling for some $800,000. Last year, Michael Waltrip won it on the very last lap, the pass over Mike McLaughlin. We're just about there, ladies and gentlemen. Matt Kenseth is sitting on the pole. He's won and won again, 10 times a winner in Grand National Racing. We're just about set to get racing going live for the weekend on TBS.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
The call from the Alabama gang, the Allisons, and we're just about ready to get this one sparkling for you today. Let's go topside to the folks who'll be making the call. First, here's Alan Bestwick.
Ken, thank you. Good afternoon from Charlotte. Looking forward to an exciting 300-miler for you today. 3 storylines we want to touch on before we go to the green flag. Won the championship. You heard from Jeff Green a minute ago. He's got better than a 500-point lead in this race. He can't clinch it today, but he can go a long way toward locking it up. The Mark Martin factor. Mark always so dominant here. Will he be as dominant again today? Because there's been a tire situation that's developed here yesterday. After some quality control testing revealed a little problem with the tires Goodyear was originally bringing here to Charlotte, the replacements that they brought, there weren't enough of them to supply both the Winston Cup and Busch Series. So what they did was they took the right sides for Charlotte, gave them to the Winston Cup teams. The Busch Series teams are here running on a Dover right side tire. 4-time Charlotte winner Buddy Baker is our TBS racing analyst. He joins me for the call of today's race. So, Buddy, what does that mean to the drivers and teams today?
Well, it's pretty simple. What it is, it's a little bit harder tire, meaning you give up a little bit of grip, but you get endurance out of it. So it's going to be a fast tire after it gets 15, 20 laps on it. The one thing that's not good, a lot of guys didn't get to run in Dover when they got to try this tire out. They'll be out there and they'll be complaining until they really get their cars adjusted. The people that raced there before at Dover, they loved the tire. But the guys that didn't race in Dover, they're complaining.
Changes handling characteristics just that little bit. Also joining me for the call of today's race, the hottest thing in NASCAR Winston Cup racing. This is 2 weeks ago, tomorrow in Dover, Delaware. Tony Stewart with his 4th win of the 2000 season. Then last Sunday, he did it again. Started on the pole, fell back a little bit, then came roaring back to the front to score win number 5, second straight for Tony Stewart. And he joins us this afternoon again for our TBS Busch Series action. Tony, glad to have you here. Let's talk about the Mark Martin factor and Mark and this tire. Will he still be as dominant today as we've come to expect?
Well, when you come to Charlotte, you talk about Busch Grand National Racing. Mark Martin's the #1 driver that always comes into everybody's mind. But with this new tire, he starts 4th today, but he was 23rd on the practice sheet after happy hour yesterday. But his teammate, Jeff Burton, he starts 23rd, but he was 9th quickest after happy hour. You can bet both of those drivers sat down after the session yesterday, and they'll come up with a situation and a setup that'll be good for both of them today.
Cars are on the track. We'll take a break and come back with the starting lineup in the green flag in today's All-Pro Bumper-to-Bumper Auto Parts 300 at Charlotte.
I can tell by looking whether a vehicle's been driven hard or not. This guy's one of my regular customers. Scorched brake rotors, beat up oil pan, probably never takes his foot off the gas. He trusts me to make sure it performs, and I trust CarQuest Auto Parts. I mean, you never know. Someday you might need to give me a ride.
CarQuest for AC Delco rapid fire spark plugs. Older cars' engines can run rougher. Bring back that new car feel with AC Delco rapid fire spark plugs. CarQuest, the professional choice.
You know, this is great.
Rediscover the lost art of conversation. Go RVing. Life's a trip. Visit an RV dealer or call for a free video.
Dear Lifetime, last year while watching one of your regular breast exam reminders, I did a self-exam and found a lump. Luckily, the cancer had not yet spread. You have given me a second chance at life. Regular mammograms are also extremely important, so I beg you to continue these reminders and keep saving lives.
For info on mammograms, go to lifetimetv.com. Stop breast cancer for life.
For all your breast cancer needs, call Lifespan at 969-8797.
No mercy. No compassion. An exhibition of anguish, suffering, distress. An infliction of pain that rips through one's body. These men will not show forgiveness. They will show no mercy. WWF No Mercy. Live Sunday, October 22nd on pay-per-view. Order and you may receive Undertaker the Phenom home video. For details, visit WWF.com.
Back at Charlotte on TBS, cars about a lap and a half through the 3 parade and pace laps they'll make before the start of this afternoon's race. Here's the lineup. Matt Kenseth, new track record in qualifying. Second straight pole for this event. Dick Trickle is alongside. Row 2, Ricky Hendrick, his first Charlotte start, alongside the winningest Busch driver here, Mark Martin. Joe Nemechek, fastest in final practice yesterday's in row 3 alongside Mike Skinner. It's Dave Blaney and super rookie Kevin Harvick in row 4. Harvick 2 wins this season. Row 5's Bobby Hamilton Jr. and Casey Atwood finished 14th here in May. The 6th row is Jimmy Johnson from last to 16th in May, and Hank Parker Jr. celebrates a birthday today. 7th row, Jay Sauter, and the defending winner of this race, Michael Waltrip. Row number 8 is the point leader, Jeff Green, finished 3rd here in May, and Kevin Grubb, top 10 in the last 2 Busch Series races this season. Row number 9, it's Jason Keller, 2nd in points, and Ted Musgrave, the Winston Cup veteran. The 10th row is Lyndon Amick and the 2-time Busch Series champion, Randy LaJoie. Row number 11, Tim Fedewa and Tony Raines. The 12th row, that's where Jeff Burton will have to come from today. 23rd starting spot, Elton Sawyer's there with him. Row 13, Kenny Wallace and Mike Dillon in the Richard Childress car. The 14th row, Ward Burton, very fast in yesterday's final practice. Keep your eyes on him. Row 15 will be Buckshot Jones alongside the 94 winner here at Charlotte in May of that year, Phil Parsons. It's Blaze Alexander of Pennsylvania and Jason Jarrett, Dale's son, in row 16. The 17th row, Jim Bound makes his first start in 2000, and veteran David Green. Row number 18, Mike Wallace, his 12th Busch Series start here, and Todd Bodine also very fast in final practice. The 19th row, Ron Hornaday, 2nd in rookie points, and Jeff Purvis in the Joe Gibbs car. The other Joe Gibbs machines back in row 20, that's Jason Leffler alongside the 98 winner of this race, Mike McLaughlin. Row 21, Mark Green and Kyle Petty. Philip Morris of Virginia rounds out the starting lineup. Here is our race analysis on the day, the facts and figures on today's race.
All these teams can make it on 2 stops as far as fuel's concerned, but with this new right side tire, nobody really knows on long run how much these tires are going to fall off. So you may see him pit twice for tires, you may see him pit all 3 times for tires. So it'll be interesting to see exactly how this new tire plays out today.
And that 80-lap pit window, Michael Waltrip went like 93 laps last October to stretch his fuel mileage to the win. We'll keep an eye on the economy situation as we unfold. Weather, temperatures in the mid-60s, gorgeous. After earlier in the week they were forecasting rain for today, it's turned out to be just absolutely fabulous. As we get set to go in the NASCAR Busch Series, 28th race of 2000, it's the All-Pro Bumper to Bumper Auto Parts 300. We're glad you joined us on TBS. Here they come down to the green flag. Edges out in front. Turn 2. Trickle slides in second. Let's mention that the Tony Raines car and Jay Sauter's cars had to drop to the end of the field on the pace lap. Unapproved engine changes this morning. You're not allowed to change engines between qualifying and the race in the NASCAR Busch Series unless you can demonstrate there was some sort of a catastrophic failure. Kenseth leads lap 1. Here comes Mark Martin outside of Trickle.
car to start in single file now, and trying to keep up with Matt Kenseth, who got about a 20-car length lead just on the get-go there. And now Mark Martin's in pursuit in second place as they start into turn 1.
I think you're seeing everybody be pretty cautious right now, because even though they ran in happy hour, with the sun being out, the track conditions are different, and they did not have much time. They only had an hour and a half on that new tire yesterday, and they're all kind of just tiptoeing around trying to figure out exactly how these cars are going to drive around each other with the sun being out.
Oh, I see Hendricks in trouble just a second there. The third place car was...
Oh, trouble off turn 4. Lyndon Amick's around. Randy LaJoy. 6, 7 other cars. Look at the big jam left of the screen.
Todd Bodine's in the wreck. Jason Leffler.
Jason Jarrett.
Hornaday made it through, I believe.
It looks like Jim Bound involved. Caution is out. 3 laps in. There's Mike Wallace, all torn up. He is not going to continue for long with his car in that condition, and Jason Jarrett's not going anywhere, high-sided on the grass. Right now, NASCAR radioing leader Matt Kenseth to take the field down pit road to keep them from running through all of the debris from the crash site here at the start-finish line. There's Papa Ned looking on as Jason sits in the grass.
Well,
Grandpapa, yeah, that's right.
There's a little confusion. Mark Martin went down pit road, and of course the leader, Matt Kenseth, is still on the racetrack. So we have some going down pit road, some going down the racetrack. I would have definitely gone down pit road because there was a lot of debris on the front straightaway from all the cars wrecking.
Well, that's NASCAR was radioing the teams. There's Todd Bodine. We talked about him being fast. He's all torn up. We talked about NASCAR telling the teams to go down pit road. Oh, Mike McLaughlin's in it. Boy, the toll keeps mounting here. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe 8 cars, maybe more damaged in this accident.
Yeah, you see Jason Leffler in the MB&A Pontiac was also involved.
Blaze Alexander damaged. There's Mike Wallace out of his car. We saw the safety workers talking to Todd Bodine just a minute ago. Big mess off of turn 4. The 3 cars that have not driven away are the cars of Mike Wallace, Todd Bodine, and Jason Jarrett. Everyone else has driven away. Here's another look. Who's that? Lyndon Amick.
Lyndon Amick, yes. He starts spinning coming off turn 4 there, and you can see behind him, that's a chain reaction. Everybody tried to whoa, and when they start slowing down, people get into the back of them. We see it time and time again off turn 4 here at Lowe's Motor Speedway.
Especially as fast as they run. I mean, as quick as everybody's running through turn 4, and it really gets tight and narrow off of turn 4. So as soon as you get off the corner there, if there's trouble, you don't have a lot of room to maneuver. You can't get away from everybody. Guys are trying to stay up toward the wall, but everybody keeps drifting toward the wall, so you just kind of get pinched up there and you have nowhere to go.
And one other thing I noticed, that might have started when Ricky Hendricks got a little bit high up there and almost got into the wall, and the drivers behind him could see him in trouble. They started checking up, and that could have started that.
Pace car leading the field down pit road in order to allow them to clean up the front stretch. There's point leader Jeff Green. He's up to 11th in the opening 3 laps here at Charlotte.
Mr. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, sneaking and spying, so death-defying. A wink and a kiss, bullets that don't miss, cunning devastation, and loving dedication. 15 days of 007, only on the Superstation.
This is the sound of one horse going 20 miles an hour. This is the sound of 750 horses going 200 miles an hour. This is where you can see it. NASCAR, coming to NBC and TBS Superstation, July 2001.
Bob.
Claire.
Bob.
Claire.
Michael.
Michael.
Bob? Claire?
Want your own monster truck? You can win one during Napa's Monster Truck Giveaway, or win one of over 5,000 mini monster trucks. Plus, save on hundreds of items. Enter at a participating Napa Auto Parts store today.
Just how quick and agile is the Kodiak Bear? It ran away with ATV of the Year. The Kodiak Automatic 4x4 with push-button in-and-out 4-wheel drive. ATV Magazine's ATV of the Year. Now get low payments on every Yamaha ATV. starting at just $69 a month with 0 down during Yamaha All-Terrain Value Days.
Attention all freshmen. Please report to the student center this afternoon. There will be a new student meeting.
He finished in 4. The bulb? It's on the 5-year plan.
The Phillips Marathon bulb. Good for 5 years. Guaranteed. Phillips. Light bulbs that last.
Back at Charlotte, cleanup continues. A 6-car accident. At least 6 cars severely damaged. Several others visiting pit road getting repairs like Jason Leffler there. Todd Bodine was right in the middle of it. Mike Hogwood is with him.
Yeah, Todd, are you okay, and what happened?
Yeah, I'm all right. A little banged around, but I'm okay. I didn't see what happened up in front of us. I saw the smoke. Got off the gas, started putting the brake on, and Mike Wallace was right up on my tail. He couldn't get slowed down. You know, that's part of racing. That's to be expected. But it's, from what I understand, it's the same old story. Same people causing wrecks in the front. Kids that don't know what to do, don't know how to take it easy, and just getting themselves in trouble. It's a shame. We had a Phillips 66 Monte Carlo was really good in happy hour. Really good right there to start the race, and I was just trying to bide my time and stay out of these wrecks because I knew something was going to happen, and unfortunately we got caught up in it.
Your crew is really upset as they came by.
Yeah, this is the 4th time this year that, well, actually the last 2 years, last year combined, that the same person has ended up taking us out of a wreck. It's a shame. It keeps happening over and over. I wish NASCAR would do something about this and figure out a way to help these rookies learn a little faster.
Well, it was the Todd Bodine crew and the Lyndon Amick crew who were really pushing and shoving with each other for a few minutes there, Alan.
Yeah, here's a look at it. Todd Bodine's crew heading back to the garage, and Lyndon Amick's crew stopped right behind the wall. That's Ricky Pearson, the crew chief there for Lyndon Amick, in the center trying to make peace and keep the Todd Bodine guys back and his guys back and all the rest, and he wasn't too successful.
Well, if I ever get beat up, I want it to be like that.
Hey, look, Baker, I've watched you stomp around Matt in the garage before. 12 cars now total involved in the accident.
Busch beer. Proud sponsor of the NASCAR Busch Series.
Still getting dandruff flakes? Maybe the problem is your dandruff shampoo. Try Neutrogena T-Gel Intensive Anti-Flake Shampoo. Fights flakes 3 ways. It may not be your first dandruff shampoo. It will be your last. Neutrogena T-Gel, it works.
From the leader in ride control technology comes a new standard in safety and control. Monroe's revolutionary Reflex with impact sensor technology that reacts instantly, shifting between firm and soft compression in just 12 milliseconds, combining superior comfort with a dramatic reduction in pitch and roll for maximum safety. Experience the new Reflex Shock from Monroe. Right now, when you buy 3 Monroe Reflex or Sensitrack shocks or struts, you get the 4th one free.
I was head coach in the NFL, and for whatever reason was able to win a Super Bowl my 2nd year. I've been in this 9 years in motorsports, and we've not won a championship. I think the finish of our season is very much like the playoffs in the NFL. Those last 3 or 4 weeks, you're still in it. You get more intense, and every week you could take a big step forward or you could lose it all.
The NASCAR Winston Cup Championship. The race is on.
So is it hard? I think I'm living testimony to say it's pretty daggum hard.
Coming up tomorrow at 12:35 Eastern, it's the UAW GM Quality 500. Jeff Gordon leads the pack down to the green flag. It's also the debut of TBS No Brakes coverage. Thanks to many of our sponsors, you'll be able to see live racing during most of our commercials. We're pretty excited about it. Hope you will be too. Tomorrow at 12:35 Eastern here on the Superstation. Caution flag still out. A massive wreck that I now total as 12 cars involved. Let's pick out if we can see where it all started.
Lyndon Amick right there. The white car is right behind Michael Waltrip. As they start off turn 4, you can see Amick's car in big trouble there. He spins right in front of several cars. That's Randy LaJoie in the 1 car there. Jason Jarrett in the 11. They just keep on hitting right there, and it's nothing more than a chain reaction.
Now, we couldn't tell because it didn't come into the frame quite soon enough if Lyndon got hit to send him spinning around or if he just lost the back end, but we will endeavor to get a word with Lyndon shortly and see if we can tell what happened. 12 cars involved in the accident. Todd Bodine, the most notable principal there, and we're under caution still here at Charlotte.
Well, hey, Mr. Palmer, how can I help you?
Hi, Bill. Time to rotate those tires. Cooper Tires. Drive on.
Well, folks, everything will be decided today.
If you want to win in today's world, you can't afford to go it alone. It takes teamwork and training to win, just like the winning team that builds quality cars and trucks on the assembly line. UAWGM, assembly line to finish line, teamwork wins.
My turn.
The power and performance of rigid wet dry vacs. Built so heavy duty, they carry a lifetime warranty. Like our 16-gallon vac that converts to a 210-mile-per-hour blower in seconds. And the Home Depot's got it for just $99 every day. Rigid. Buy it at the Home Depot.
We are back as they come to the start-finish line for the restart. And the All-Pro Bumper-to-Bumper Auto Parts 300 green flag is up. Sort of a halting start, lengthy cleanup from a 12-car accident off of turn number 4 at lap 3.
A lot of times what you'll see happen after a wreck like that that's so early in the race, you'll see the drivers be a lot more cautious at the beginning now, knowing that that can happen again. So I think you'll see everybody take it easy these first couple laps after this restart and just kind of let everything sort out and, find out what these tires are going to do again.
Yeah, it'd be a pretty big wake-up call.
Kind of like you do, right?
Yeah.
What I try to do, or at least tell myself I'm going to do.
Well, what his crew chief tells him to do. Matt Kenseth is the leader. Mark Martin is second. Mike Skinner's third. Ricky Hendrick fourth. Kevin Harvick fifth. Mike Skinner has Lyndon Amick in the garage. Mike Hogwood, rather. Sorry, Mike.
That's okay, Alan. The radiator being changed on his car. Lyndon waiting patiently for that work to be done before he can get back out on the track. Lyndon, what happened from your perspective?
I guess basically I lost it by myself. I've come over here for a lot of years, and this year we've run really well. In spring finished 10th, and to come over here, we were running well, and I can't tell you how frustrating it is to have that happen, but we were just too loose to begin with.
A loose race car resulted in a bent up race car, and a lot of other cars are now in the garage. Alan?
All right, Lyndon Amick is back trying to get repairs made to his car. Let's go to Mike Massaro.
And now Jason Jarrett has just walked from the care center. He is okay, but can't say the same thing about the car. Jason, what happened?
I really don't know. Just a chain reaction thing. Somebody spun out in front of us, or was spun out in front of us, and somebody got me from behind. I started getting slowed down pretty good. Thought I was going to be able to go straight through it. Somebody just got into the back of me. It's just, that's just racing at the first. Everybody's on new tires. And I actually had a pretty good car up on the outside right at the first of the race, and unfortunately for me and this Rayovac team, they ended short again.
And a disappointing day for Jason Jarrett. He was looking forward to a very good run this afternoon. He finished fourth earlier this week in the ARCA race.
Had a caution is out. We have a piece of debris just past the start-finish line here on the front stretch. Second yellow of the race, lap 14. Looking at Dick Trickle, his view, he's fallen all the way back to 14th. There's the problem on the racetrack. And couldn't quite identify what it is, but they felt safer to put the caution out and pick it up rather than leave it there. So we're slowed for a second time here at Charlotte. The All-Pro Bumper-to-Bumper Auto Parts 300.
Hey, we gotta talk. That stuff only protects my vital parts for about 30,000 miles. And then what happens? You gotta change it. Make it easy on yourself. Give me Haviland Extended Life Antifreeze. It protects my sensitive parts for 5 years or 150,000 miles. That's 5 times longer than most of those conventional coolants. Now, let's talk oil.
Hey! Haviland Extended Life Antifreeze. Add more life to your car.
Paging Dr. Norris. Dr. Norris.
When lives are on the line, you rely on the specialized training and expertise of real professionals. People who use the tools at their disposal to find out what's wrong and fix it. But even with years of experience, it's not always easy. Appearances can be deceiving, because even though this isn't a hospital, this is a surgeon. He just operates on cars.
Paging Dr. Norris. Your car is ready.
CarQuest, the professional choice.
Shopping for a diamond engagement ring just got easier, because at Premier Jewelers, we now have over 400 different styles of engagement rings. 400. That's 5 times the number of styles you'd find at an average jewelry store. You'll find rings in popular platinum and a selection of certified diamonds. There's no need to visit 5 different stores at the mall when you can shop Battle Creek's biggest selection of engagement rings and the diamonds to go with them at Battle Creek's Premier Jewelers.
This is Mike. Mike sells muscle cars, but despite their 4-barrel carbs, their dual overhead cams, and their V8 engines, Mike's muscle cars didn't move very fast. So Mike went on cable TV. And that, as Mike would say, put the pedal to the metal. Cable advertising. It's easy, it's affordable, it works. AT&T Media Services. Get your ads worth.
Back at Lowe's Motor Speedway Charlotte on TBS, looking down on this massive facility that has the NASCAR Busch Series running 300 miles today and the NASCAR Winston Cup Series 500 tomorrow. You'll see it tomorrow live on TBS at 12:35 Eastern. 1 lap away from the restart as the field comes to the stripe. Let's go to pit road and Marty Snyder.
Well, Allen tires have been a big deal this weekend. Let's explain a little bit about this new right side tire. This is the same right side tire that the NASCAR Busch Series used at Dover where they had problems, but we do not expect problems today. The reason for that, the tire load and tire pressure at Dover is extreme. Here at Charlotte, it's not that bad, so we do not expect blistering of the right side tires. What does it cause on the car? Well, it has made the cars a little bit looser because these right side tires are a harder compound than the left side tires that we're using this weekend. So when the car goes into the corner, the left side tires stick, the right side tires do not stick as well, so the car has a tendency to wash out or be loose. Now, the other thing that you're going to see in the race today is some guys in the back have a better handle on this tire. They like this tire better. They didn't like the old tire, so they are going to come to the front today. Conversely, guys who start in the front who like the old tire do not like this tire. You'll see some guys go to the back. The bottom line, this tire has completely changed the complexion of today's race.
And it was a rather interesting atmosphere in the garage yesterday when the call was made to change that tire because teams had been testing and so on the original tire that was scrapped. And let's just state, it was scrapped for safety reasons. Goodyear didn't just make an arbitrary decision. So, you know, you applaud them for the call to make the change in the name of safety. At the same time, the teams have had their hands full kind of adjusting on rather short notice. And that is the reason why we're not going to go racing this time by a beverage container coming out of the grandstands. Don't do that, people. It's not a good thing to hit with a race car. Hey, who's the all-time best driver here in Charlotte? Express your opinion at cnnsi.com. Cast your vote now. Was that a lobby there, Baker? In that first crash, there were a total of 12 cars involved. Jason Jarrett, Lyndon Amick, Mike McLaughlin, Todd Bodine, Mike Wallace, and Blaze Alexander all went behind the wall. Other cars involved in the wreck receiving damage include Randy LaJoy, Jeff Purvis, Jim Bound, whose car you were looking at there. There's Jason Jarrett's. Also, Michael Waltrip got damaged, Mike McLaughlin, and Jason Leffler. There's Leffler's machine all beat up. So a total of 12 cars involved in that lap 3 wreck. Wow. Here's Jeff Green on board with him, championship leader. He's moved up into the 10th position, started 15th. Fortunate to see that accident happen behind him.
I'm cleaning the tires there, going back and forth with the steering wheel, trying to get all the debris off the running surface of the tire.
Here are the championship standings in the NASCAR Busch Series. You see Jeff Green with quite a healthy margin with 5 races to go. Now, he can't lock up the championship today. He'd have to lead by 740 points at the end of the day to lock up the title, and the most you can gain is 151. So if he wins the race and the second place guy in points, Jason Keller, were to finish last, his maximum lead would be 667. He can't do that, especially since Keller won't finish last in any manner. We'll take a break. We'll come back.
Coming October 15th.
What's going on, Alex?
I need you down on the floor now.
The best agent in the Secret Service is back in action.
I don't intend to lose a president on my watch.
From the makers of First Daughter comes a new mission, a new threat, and a new level of danger.
You don't think it's over, do you?
No, I don't.
Daryl Hannah, Doug Savant, and Gregory Harrison in a Superstation original movie. First Target, October 15th, only on the Superstation.
Of Busch beer. Proud sponsor of the NASCAR Busch Series.
Whether you drive the family truck or the number 21 Citgo Taurus, when you pull into the pits, your neighborhood Citgo has the fuel you need to fill your tank and keep you going.
Still getting dandruff flakes? Maybe the problem is your dandruff shampoo. Try Neutrogena T-Gel Intensive Anti-Flake Shampoo. Fights flakes 3 ways. It may not be your first dandruff shampoo. It will be your last. Neutrogena T-Gel, it works.
She's a real beauty. And she never bugs you about spending so much time with the guys. She never complains about you watching football. She thinks a little gas is a good thing. Maybe she isn't a she after all. Here's to the perfect relationship. Here's how to keep it that way.
Just back under green here at Charlotte, half a lap since the restart. Matt Kenseth leads the field off at turn number 3. Mark Martin is behind him, followed by Mike Skinner, Ricky Hendrick, and Kevin Harvick. Top 5 breaking away from the rest of the pack just a little bit on the restart. Under the caution flag, Kevin LePage made a couple of pit stops. Tim Fedewa was on pit road. David Green came into pit. Phil Parsons. And then also Blaze Alexander and Jason Leffler made some stops. Those were a couple of cars, those last 2 damaged in the big wreck earlier. Here's Ward Burton on the charge. Look at him.
Just 3 wide down the back straightaway there.
Ward started in 27th position. He's trying to take the 11th spot away from Casey Atwood and the 10th spot away from Jimmy Johnson.
He was the second fastest car in happy hour yesterday, so this is not unexpected by any means. Ward was probably being a little cautious at the beginning, let those 2 cautions get out of the way, and now he's ready to go racing and just working his way to the front.
He wasn't being cautious. That thing happened all around him, and he just didn't get in it. Down to Mike Massaro.
And Kevin LePage is on pit road for the 3rd time in the last 2 laps. He was involved in the first incident on the racetrack and suffered some radiator damage. The oil temperature skyrocketed. They tried to salvage it, but they apparently have lost all the water in the radiator, and they have decided to park the car for the rest of the afternoon. You can see down here on pit road, they're still looking underneath the hood, trying to find some way to get the car back in the race. But right now, the message from the crew chief to Kevin LePage is to park it.
Kevin going to join the parade into the garage early in the event. Become the 7th driver behind the wall, and we're just 23 laps in. Moving up and sliding back. Jeff Purvis gaining 10 spots. Kyle Petty moving up nicely, and Ward Burton's the big mover. Jeff Burton's gained 4 positions. Thought he might come a little bit farther forward. That's just obviously from lap 10 to where they are now at lap 24. And people losing positions. Dick Trickle sliding back. He started on the front row. He's back to 15th now.
Tony, the tires right now probably have enough grip in them because the heat is building up in the tires that being a harder tire is not a problem anymore. I think you'll see the cars like Mark Martin running along in second right now. At first, he was backing out of the throttle and letting Matt Kenseth go 4 or 5 car lengths deeper as they went in the corner. He seems to be picking the pace up now. He has a little bit more heat in the tires, and Mark is very cautious not to overdrive the car.
It seems like with tire compounds, the softer the tire compound, the less heat it likes. The harder the compound, the more heat it likes. So like you said, the more laps that these guys put on these tires, the more that the temperature is going to come up and the more grip that the actual tire is going to gain. So you know, every time that they get a caution like that, it puts it through a heat cycle, and that's going to hurt it a little bit. But if they get a long green flag stretch here, it's going to make the tires a lot better. Here's Joe Nemechek riding in the 5th position, just took that spot away from Kevin Harvick. Now tucked up on the back of Ricky Hendrick, trying to get 4th away from him. Nemechek started in 5th position. He's a former winner here back in May of '97.
See the RPMs there, 7,800 down the back straightaway. You didn't know we could peep on you like this, did you?
I was just hoping you weren't peeping on me.
Yeah, these cars don't turn quite as many RPMs as Weston Cup. It's obvious they don't have the same compression ratio and all, but they do run very, very quick through the corners. If anything, they're as fast as Weston Cup or faster.
Looking at Lyndon Amick back on the racetrack after the radiator replaced in his machine. He is 20 laps down to race leader Matt Kenseth.
And that thing can't drive very good with the front end all beat up like that.
5-car breakaway early. The All-Pro Bumper-to-Bumper Auto Parts 300 at Charlotte. Matt Kenseth has led all the laps so far.
All dressed up and no way to get there. Do you need this from your car? Of course not. You may take it for granted until it doesn't start. We can't. We know how important your car is. We take care of your vehicle, so it'll take good care of you. At All Pro and Bumper to Bumper, that's a promise from us to you. It's a promise we take seriously. You're welcome. At All Pro and Bumper to Bumper Automotive Service Centers, we do the job right. Who knows? You might even make the last couple of innings.
Introducing the Polaris Sportsman 500 HO with a new high-output engine and 20% more power. The world's best-selling automatic ATV just got better.
You are absolutely gorgeous. Yes, you are. Oops. He's not going to like that. Perfect. Now tell me this isn't the finest crop you've ever seen.
Why don't you go next?
For the best flakes, we only accept the best corn. Kellogg's Corn Flakes.
Trucks. Fundamentally tougher than any panty-laced car. Hey, no one ever wrote a song about his first hatchback. At Craftsman, we figured the only thing better than trucks is racing trucks. So we're the official tools of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Tough trucks, tougher drivers, and the toughest tools. Craftsman.
Racing Radios, the leader in racing communications worldwide. Call us today at 1-800-669-1522 for all your two-way needs for race teams and scanners and headsets for the fans. Mack Trucks are furnished by Clement Chevy Mack Sales. For all your truck and tractor needs, call Clement at 1-800-369-MACK. Featherlight, the official trailer of NASCAR, CART, IRL, NHRA, ASA, and World of Outlaws. Remember to call Featherlight for all your trailer and motor coach needs at 800-800-1230. Winnebago Industries. For information on Winnebago Industries products or the Winnebago Motorsports team, call 1-800-643-4892.
Back at Lowe's Motor Speedway, Charlotte, looking at the top two in the All-Pro Bumper-to-Bumper Auto Parts 300 for the NASCAR Busch Series. Matt Kenseth started on the pole, has led all 33 laps so far. Mark Martin started in 4th position, quickly moved up to 2nd. There's the man who started alongside Kenseth on the front row, Dick Trickle, in the orange car. Well, what's wrong with his car? Here's a good example.
It's very obvious. You can see the back of the car stepping out in the center part of the corner. Very loose in the center part of the corner.
Marty Snyder has more on Dick Trickle for us.
Well, you got that right, buddy. Can you say loose and a little bit looser? Dick Trickle had his hands full right now. The weekend started off just wonderfully for these guys. They have a new crew chief this weekend. Danny Glaus is the crew chief. They qualified second. They expected great things, but they just cannot adjust to this new tire. They struggled in happy hour. They're struggling in the race. The car extremely loose. They're going to make an adjustment when they come down pit road. Team owner Jimmy Spencer in the pits right now, talking to crew chief Danny Glaus. They're hoping to make it a little bit better when they can get them down pit road.
Right now, Trickle running all the way back in 21st position, and as you can see, he's got about 5 cars right behind him, all trying to make the move and take that spot away. Kind of bigger in that we're almost to the point here where we're going to see Matt Kenseth step aside for Mark Martin, because Mark's starting to apply a little pressure on the lead.
Well, let me just tell you, just behind Mark Martin right now, Joe Nemechek picked it up about 2 notches right now. He's chasing these 2 front cars down, and he seems to be handling quite well on the bottom part of the track. I wouldn't be surprised if he's not up there when Mark Martin, if he does get the nod to go by, he'll go by also.
There's Nemechek's car. He just took 3rd away from Mike Skinner a minute ago. Skinner right behind Nemechek, the blue car, back of the frame there. He's in 4th place now. Nemechek was fastest in yesterday's final practice. Talked with his crew chief, Brian Patty, this morning. He said, we're going to be good today. That's when Brian tells you that. You can usually count on that pretty much. Somebody else who's been great so far in the race is Ward Burton. 22 car there, left of your screen. Started the race in 27th spot. He's up to 6th. He's flying. There's the serial score on Ward. Big help there, that lap 10 number, by missing the wreck that happened all around him that damaged about a dozen cars. Here's a challenge for 2nd. Up ahead, Joe Nemechek around Mark Martin. Is that Martin he went by? Yeah, that's Martin. Okay. I thought I was confused, but I was wrong.
Yeah, you're always. I will tell you this one thing. When he went by Mark Martin, he put about a 10-car length lead on him in one corner. Jeff Green now picking it up a little bit. He and Ward Burton running side by side.
This would be for the 6th and 7th spots. Burton in 6th. Green trying to take it from him.
That's the one thing you just noticed, is these guys go around the racetrack side by side. That inside car, if they drop off in the corner, sometimes it makes the car very, very hard to handle. Makes the back want to jump out. But you can see Jeff Green just kind of rolled out of it and said, that's enough of that. I'm leading in the point.
Jeff Green spotter we were listening to there. That would be Keith Barnwell on the radios with Jeff from atop the roof here. Dave Blaney in the 20 car, running in 5th. Maybe going to lose it. Here comes Jeff Green again. He's not determined. He's not going to give up until he gets by Ward Burton for that spot. There he goes.
You know, some of these guys that are Winston Cup regulars, they realize Jeff Green's situation. They'll give him every break in traffic that he needs right now. They don't want to create a problem. Even though they're coming over, they realize that a championship to this guy means a lot. And just as I say that, he's probably going to make another challenge on him. I don't think so, though.
5th, 6th, and 7th we're watching. Blaney in 5th, Green in 6th, Burton in 7th. The other Burton, Jeff, has just moved up to the 8th spot, bypassing Ricky Hendrick. It's Jason Leffler's car on the left of the screen there. He's a lap down, damage in an earlier accident. This is Philip Morris. They're going to try and overtake.
Oh,
are we going to make it 3 wide here, folks?
So much for the points lead. He just went between 2 cars there. Dave Blaney, and you can see right now Ward Burton making a move on the inside, trying to use the draft there to get by.
Philip Morris, 35-year-old from Virginia. In his 8th Busch Series start, the leader's just overtaking him to put him a lap down. He's back in 36th. Caution, trouble off turn 4. Got a car spinning around. That's Mark Green. Got into the outside wall with the back end. Doesn't look like anybody else is going to be involved.
Tremendous amount of damage straight on the back of the car, so he must have just went almost directly backwards up into the wall.
3rd caution of the race. And you see leader Matt Kenseth slowing down and bringing the field back around to the start-finish line. 1st caution, lap number 4, a 12-car accident off of turn 4. 2nd caution, just after we went back racing. when there was debris dropped here right past the starter's stand. And now caution number 3, and we take another look at what happened to Mark Green that put him into the wall off turn 4. That's Green down low, the double wide car there.
We just talked about getting the air off the spoiler as they go through the corner there. That's exactly what happened. He gets a little toe off the outside car there, which makes the turbulence in between the two cars and pulls the back of the car out. Mark Green just unfortunately got caught up in that situation.
But his problem started back in turn 3 when he went in low underneath that car and it didn't stick to the bottom for him.
That's right. When it slid up.
He was even Steven with the other car on the outside, and that's what I was talking about a little while ago. That gets you in trouble.
Most likely, if he could have stayed on the bottom, he would have had enough of an air gap in between to where his car wouldn't have freed up as much as it did. But he was probably a little free to begin with. It moved him up, and then taking the air off the spoiler, it's kind of a double situation where it takes it off, and he's going to have a hard time getting back to the pits because it looked like it knocked the rear end cannon bar off.
And he had a couple of flat tires, as you saw as well. Here come the leaders to the opening of pit road. Everybody's coming in. This will be lap number 44. The stops will come. You'll see Matt Kenseth, Joe Nemechek, and Mark Martin in the triple box, top to bottom, left of your screen, the front 3, and the broader pit road view on the right side of the screen. Can't imagine anybody wouldn't get 4 tires here.
Everybody's going to take 4 tires this time. They're not going to take a chance at this point in the race. And, that was the first time that they actually had a long stretch of green flags. So they're all going to be paying attention to the bounce of the car and making adjustments for it.
Boy, Joe Nemechek had a great stop there. You could see they were changing the left sides on his car way before the other 2 that ran the boxes there that we were watching. He really had a great pit stop.
Now, I said I didn't think we'd see anybody get 2, but I believe Jeff Purvis might have just done that. What's going on here? That's the wrong way, Mike Dillon. You got all 4 tires on that thing? Can't see the left side from here, from this view. Did he drive away with something missing?
You see the kid there on the left rear corner. You could tell by the way he walked back to, he didn't have all the lug nuts tight on the left rear.
Matt Kenseth is first off of pit road. Ward Burton comes out second. Tony Raines is third. We'll set the restart when we come back.
Bob.
Claire.
Bob.
Claire.
Michael.
Michael. Huh? Bob? Claire?
Want your own monster truck? You can win one during Napa's Monster Truck Giveaway, or win one of over 5,000 mini monster trucks. Plus, save on hundreds of items. Enter at a participating Napa Auto Parts store today.
Every professional knows some jobs are held to a higher standard. Precision isn't an option, it's a requirement. So for the jobs that really count, the ones that reputations are built on, the pros reach for Porter Cable. Because some crowds are just not easily impressed. Porter Cable, for the jobs that really count.
Dad, you could go now.
You want it? You got it. You want it? Baby, just bust a move.
I wanted to chill, but making all of my travel arrangements was freaking me out. So I went to Priceline.com where you can name your own price for some dope airfare, a hip hotel, a fly rental car. You want some of this? Then you know what to do, dog. Bust a move.
So that's your new car, the Aaron's Dream Machine.
Oh, yeah, ain't she a beauty? Of course, she don't compare to the wife, though.
Really, these are the true Aaron's Dream Machines, the products we all dream about owning.
And at Aaron's, everyone's automatically pre-approved with no credit required?
Yeah, and you get the guaranteed lowest price, too.
So you can afford this Philips Surround Sound Home Entertainment Center with TV, VHS player, stereo, and this cool cabinet.
And I'm really pre-approved?
That's right. So let Aaron's drive your dreams home today.
The All-Pro Bumper-to-Bumper Auto Parts 300 on the Superstation. Brought to you by Priceline.com. Name your own price. Airline tickets, hotel rooms, new cars, mortgages, and more. Priceline.com. By Aaron Sells and Lease Ownership for Less. Racing to save you money. And by NapaOnline.com, where everything great about Napa is now available online.
1 to go here. back at Charlotte. We are under caution in the bumper-to-bumper Auto Parts 300. Here is our pit performance summary. You see Matt Kenseth held the lead. Joe Nemechek losing a few spots because we had some teams play a little pit strategy under the caution. A follow-up on that and the restart in a moment. First, let's go down to Marty Snyder.
What a spectacular day, Alan, has been for Matt Kenseth, just far leading every lap, I believe. Just a hair bit loose. He is pretty happy with the car. They made no adjustments. 4 tires from Matt Kenseth. They wouldn't dare adjust that car right now. Jeff Green, the points leader, he started 15th. He has moved up to 5th when he came down pit road. He has fallen back to 6th now, however. A little bit tight, actually, for Jeff Green. He's one of the few cars that is tight. Added 1 round to the right rear of wedge for Jeff Green. That should loosen him up just a little bit. Let's go to Mike Hogwood.
Well, no changes at all for Joe Nemechek. He was flying before the caution, and Brian Patty says he is just cruising right now. Mark Martin pulled 2 spring rubbers out of the right front. He made a major chassis adjustment.
Green flag back underway with Matt Kenseth now leading Ward Burton, Tony Raines, Jeff Purvis, and Joe Nemechek. The rest of the top 10 on the restart: Jeff Green, Kyle Petty, Jeff Burton, Mike Skinner, and Ricky Hendrick. Mark Martin is back in 11th after taking the time to pull those spring rubbers that Mike Hogwood described for us a minute ago. Pulling 2 spring rubbers. I don't think Mike told us which corners of the car they came from, so it'd be hard for us to figure out exactly what he was trying to do. Look at this. Look at this. Easy, boys.
They took the spring rubbers out of the right front. That means the car was pushing. That corner was too stiff, and it was making the car go up the racetrack when he wanted it to turn. So they're trying to loosen Mark Martin up.
Now, Tony Raines got fuel only on his stop, which is how he moved from 17th to 3rd. You're watching Jeff Purvis in the 4 get shuffled back a little bit, and Kyle Petty in the 45 get shuffled back a little bit. We are getting confirmation, but we suspect those 2 cars just took right side tires on their stop, but we're going to get the confirmation on that from pit road here in a moment. Boy, Kyle's really fighting his car as he backs up through the field, and this is the race for the lead. Ward Burton is caught right up to Matt Kenseth.
You can bet those teams that took 2 tires, all the other teams are watching those cars to see how they're performing on 2, so they'll kind of use them as a gauge for these future stops. If these guys keep dropping in the back like this, you can bet everybody's just going to go ahead and continue taking 4 tires the rest of the day.
Let's go to Mike Massaro.
Well, Alan, apparently Ward Burton was not very satisfied with the car when he came in on the last stop. He radioed into Tommy Baldwin and said, the car's pushing like a freight train. They took on 4 fresh tires and made a wedge adjustment. The car appears to be very good. They were second fastest in happy hour, so it's really no surprise that they're making their way through the field the way they are. Also, some other news from this end of pit road. Mike Dillon, you saw him back up on pit road. What happened there was he did have a loose lug nut. He caught it in time before he rolled off of pit road in time to pull back into his pit stall and avoid a penalty. Also, Jeff Burton had a little bit of a problem. He lost a lug nut on the right front. That slowed him down just a tick, so he lost a couple positions on pit road.
Jeff Burton trying to gain ground toward the front has moved into the 6th position, make that 5th position as he takes that spot away from Mike Skinner across the stripe. Looking back at Jeff Burton from Jeff Green's car as he's moved up to 4th. Tony Raines getting shuffled back to 8th on that last lap.
And you can see a lot of these cars putting the left side tires under the white line, getting in the corner, trying to get the car to step out just a little bit so it'll make the turn in the center part of the corner.
Top 3 have broken away a little bit. Kenseth, Burton, and Nemechek. There's the 3-car breakaway. You see the interval from them back to 4th place, Jeff Green, and 5th place, Jeff Burton. Matt Kenseth has led every lap in this race so far after starting on the pole. There's the interval shot. 3rd back to 4th. There is Tony Raines. He's fallen back to the 8th position. Restarted in 3rd a minute ago. Mike Hogwood has more on his pit strategy call. Mike?
Well, Tony Raines had to come in during that early wreck and change tires. And because there is a tire limit here, the team's afraid they'll run out of tires, so they weren't able to put any on. They just put fuel in the car on that pit stop. He's not going to stay in the top 10 for long.
Yeah, NASCAR Busch Series, as a way of trying to contain costs for the teams, only allows them to change a certain number of sets under caution in a race. 3 sets is the limit here today, so if you took one in the early yellow, now you only have two sets left for the rest of the race, and they didn't want to put another one on there.
Well, they said that Joe Nemechek had a fast car, and he loved the way it was driving. You can tell that right now as he looks to the inside of Ward Burton as they go down the front straightaway. This shouldn't be a difficult pass, and it was not.
2nd spot for Nemechek. Look at this gaggle. 11th spot. Jeff Purvis in the 4, Elton Sawyer in the 98.
If you're hung up on the outside like Jeff Purvis is in the 4 right there, you hope that car down below you is plenty tight and not worried about the back end on the car coming out, because it can create a big problem.
Jeff's one of those guys, though, that a lot of the tracks that they go to at the Busch Series, he's one of the guys that as soon as the tires start getting some time on him, he'll move to the upper groove. He's kind of like Michael Waltrip in the Cup Series. He likes to run that high line, so he may be more comfortable, and his car may be more comfortable.
And I'll tell you one reason. He's like yourself. He's one of the best dirt track drivers I've ever watched, so he makes the car work. If it's not handling somewhere, he moves around.
Jeff Purvis and Elton Sawyer there, locked up in that race along with Bobby Hamilton Jr. As we look down on it from above, watching that higher line that Jeff Purvis is running.
And you see how much momentum it gave him off the corner. He just blew by Bobby Hamilton Jr.
Now he goes back down low. Not for long. Car doesn't want to handle there. Again, we think Purvis just got 2 tires on the pit stop and ready to go. Getting the update from pit road. Oh, here goes the leader up the track.
Matt Kenseth got very loose getting into turn 3, and you can see Nemechek just powering by right now, but he almost visited that little concrete city up there on the top side of the racetrack.
First lead change of the race, lap 57. Nemechek goes to the point. Started to mention Jeff Purvis. We just get confirmation from pit road, fuel only on his car. He did the same thing that Tony Raines did. Kyle Petty got right side tires only, though he has fallen back a good bit after the restart. Kyle is all the way down in 30th position. Let's take another look at what happened to Matt Kenseth here when he lost the lead in turn 4.
Just looks like he slides up off the bottom a little bit. With Nemechek that close behind him, it may have freed him up a little bit too early in the run for him, and you might want to just let him go for a little bit. See actually how Nemechek's car is driving, and at the same time give his rear tires a break away from the heat.
I was watching him as he headed into turn 3. Went down, and he tried to get the left side below the white line. The back end stepped out, and he had to chase it up the racetrack. That's what happened there.
So Joe Nemechek is now the leader. The All-Pro Bumper to Bumper Auto Parts 300 in Charlotte. Here's our leaderboard. As we break away, we'll be back in just a minute.
Command of the road with Hanguk. Ground control. Hanguk tires.
Just how quick and agile is the Kodiak Bear? It ran away with ATV of the Year. The Kodiak Automatic 4x4 with push-button in and out 4-wheel drive. ATV Magazine's ATV of the Year. Now get low payments on every Yamaha ATV. Starting at just $69 a month with 0 down during Yamaha All-Terrain Value Day.
Daddy, is that the internet?
No, not yet, sweetie. Why don't you go see what Mommy's doing?
Dialing up hassles? Not a problem with AT&T high-speed internet service.
Sorry, Mr. Paperclip.
AT&T at home uses cable lines instead of phone lines to deliver easy-to-use internet access with no waiting.
Wow!
AT&T at home. Call now for free installation and your first month of service free.
Welcome. Honey, we're there.
Daddy, is that the internet?
No, not yet, sweetie. Why don't you go see what Mommy's doing?
Dialing up hassles? Not a problem with AT&T high-speed internet service.
Sorry, Mr. Paperclip.
AT&T at home uses cable lines instead of phone lines to deliver easy-to-use internet access with no waiting.
Wow!
AT&T at home. Call now for free installation and your first month of service free.
Welcome. Honey, we're there.
The top 2 in the All-Pro Bumper to Bumper 300. Joe Nemechek in the left and Matt Kenseth on the right. There you see the interval, 63 laps at 200 complete, 137 to go. Matt Kenseth led the first 56 laps of this event. Through the first 3 cautions we had. They've slowed the pace so far. Then Nemechek went by him at lap number 57. Last lap speeds. Watch when we get back to Mark Martin. He has been the fastest car on the racetrack for the last couple of laps. The great danger of pointing that out when you're the announcer here is that you look at that for a couple of laps, and then when you point it out to everybody, he doesn't have the fastest lap. Ward Burton has fallen back a pretty good bit off the front two. He was the leader, chasing the leader a little earlier in second. Since Nemechek went by him, he's fallen some 2 seconds back. Let's go down to the pits.
And this problem may be very rapidly occurring here, and Tommy Baldwin just getting word of it. Tommy, what's he saying?
The car's real tight right now. We saw in cup practice this morning, the track started to get tight. We loosened it up, but it's just not enough right now. We'll hopefully get a pit stop around lap 120 there and loosen up a little bit. But this Polaris Pontiac's been running good all weekend. I just think we just got a little too tight right now.
Team extremely confident coming in this afternoon. They were second fastest in happy hour yesterday afternoon.
Ward Burton, 2.3 seconds back behind leader Joe Nemechek now, so he lost 0.3 of a second that last lap by.
Well, when you're right here and get around the track the way you want to get around, it makes it look so simple. But if you're just a little bit off, if the car's doing anything in the corner wrong, I see a smoker down in 1 and 2 right now. I don't know who it is, but a lot of smoke coming out of the race car.
That's Jason Leffler. Let's go down to pit road and hear from the leaders' crew chief.
And that's Brian Patty. Joe Nemechek's been strong since yesterday. How hard is he pushing the car right now, Brian?
This is same time we had at Dover, and we're just not trying to have a problem. We had a few problems up there, but seems to be holding out quite well. We're not pushing the envelope. We're going to wait till inside 30 laps to go, and we'll see what we got.
As driver and crew chief said a moment ago, they were just cruising out there, but cruising in the lead.
Well, let's cruise along with him now. Check out our telemetry once more, see how the numbers have changed.
Tell you one thing, he's earning his biscuit right now. You can see him really on that steering wheel in the corners there. So sometimes it looks real easy, but you can see Joe Nemechek putting a lot of steering into the car right there, fighting it all the way through the corner.
Now, a lot of that's bumps, too. Just because you see him move his hand 3 or 4 inches, it doesn't mean that he's actually having to chase the race car around as much as when you go through the corners, you have to kind of adjust a little bit for the bumps to keep it on the line that you want. So just because you watch his hand go in the corner there and you see a bounce to the left or the right just a little bit, that's just going through the bumps, and it's really not making the car move around as much as you would think it is.
Well, he missed the bumps that corner.
Change for third. Jeff Green has just gotten around Ward Burton. Mark Martin is trying to follow him. Meantime, Dick Trickle, who started on the front row, is on pit road. Marty?
Well, it's been a tough day for Dick Trickle, and they had a very loose race car earlier, and something came loose inside the engine compartment, a bolt, they think, and it cracked the distributor cap. So it's been a very odd day for Dick Trickle as well. They're replacing the distributor cap now. That's the area which they're working, which is behind the carburetor, and they should have it replaced and have him back out fairly soon. But a tough day for Dick Trickle after a great second-place qualifying run.
And a tough day for a lot of drivers. Blaze Alexander, the leader just passed there, involved in a 12-car accident back at lap 4. Joe Nemechek leads just past 100 miles here in Charlotte.
From the shadows comes a hero. Resurrected from darkness.
Stay sharp, the night is young.
Unleashed by evil. Bound by his ultimate destiny.
You sent me to hell. I'm here to return the favor.
Michael J. White, John Leguizamo, and Martin Sheen. The world broadcast premiere, Spawn. Sunday, October 29th, 8 Eastern, 7 Pacific. Only on the Superstation.
For the mountains of Busch Beer, proud sponsor of the NASCAR Busch Series.
I can tell by looking whether a vehicle's been driven hard or not. This guy's one of my regular customers. Scorched brake rotors, beat up oil pan, probably never takes his foot off the gas. He trusts me to make sure it performs, and I trust CarQuest Auto Parts. I mean, you never know. Someday you might need to give me a ride.
CarQuest for quality auto-light spark plugs. The key to sure starts and smooth-running engines. That's why pros turn to auto-light spark plugs. CarQuest, a professional choice.
Question. Can Imodium really change your life? Well, you might still find yourself trapped in the bathroom, pulling into every rest stop, stuck on the sidelines, or having one of those days when you just can't leave the house. Isn't it time to feel like you again? Imodium AD safely, gently relieves diarrhea, often in just one dose. Imodium AD. Restore yourself.
After 100 miles of competition here in the All-Pro Bumper-to-Bumper Auto Parts 300, we've had one lead change. Wisconsin's Kenson giving that up to the 1997 champion in the event, Joe Nemechek. 3 cautions, including a very costly one on lap 3, which took out a total of 9, maybe 10 cars. Average speed down to 116 miles an hour because of a slow time with those caution flags. 37 to 43 still running. Let's go back for more action. Here's Alan Beswick. All right, Ken, thanks. You're looking at the leader, Joe Nemechek, who's moved away from second place. Matt Kenseth by 2.5 seconds. The big story now is that Mark Martin has moved back into third. He restarted 11th at lap 48 at lap 76 now. 76 where we're at. He's moved up to third, and he is closing on the top 2, running faster laps than they are. There you see the interval from Mark up to second place, Matt Kenseth. Nemechek's the far car in the frame there. Let's take a look at our full field rundown. Ward Burton, big move up from the back of the pack early in the race. Started 27th. You see he's up into the 5th position. And a nice run for Hamilton Jr. Started in 9th position. Still runs in that spot right now. Michael Waltrip, defending winner of the race, started 14th. He's hanging in there in the 11th spot. Ron Hornaday, 37th is where he took the green. He's up to 13th. Ricky Hendrick has slipped back a little bit from where he started in 3rd position, but for your first time at Charlotte, that's certainly not unexpected. Tony Raines took just fuel only on the last caution. Jeff Purvis took fuel only on the caution. They've fallen back now after restarting in 3rd and 5th positions to 19th and 20th. Now we get back to some of the cars damaged in the wreck earlier. Randy LaJoy took some accident damage earlier. Blaze Alexander will be the first car 1 lap down in 31st position. Cars in the garage. Jason Lettler's behind the wall. Dick Trickle's on pit road replacing the distributor. Lyndon Amick's back out after being damaged in the big wreck at lap 4. Kevin LePage overheating, knocked the radiator out of his car. Mike McLaughlin, Jim Bound, Jason Jarrett, Todd Bodine, and Mike Wallace all in the garage after the big wreck in the opening laps. Martin's the man right now.
He's closed in over a half a second in about 4 laps right now, so he's definitely the fastest car on the racetrack.
And Mark taking over the 2nd spot as we did the race summary from Matt Kenseth. Matt also losing the 3rd position as Jeff Green has gone by. Here's moving up. Bill Parsons picked up 11 spots. We talked about Ron Hornaday a minute ago. Michael Waltrip gaining 5 positions from lap 40 to where we are now at lap 80. Sliding back, well, it's been a good segment of the race for Dick Trickle. We talked about his problem. Mike Dillon with the issue of the missing lug nuts on pit road. Let's kind of add Kyle Petty to that list. He restarted 7th at lap 48. He's now 27th in line after taking just right side tires on his stop a minute ago. 81 down, 119 to go. Joe Nemechek leads the All-Pro Bumper-to-Bumper 300 at Charlotte.
Once Winn-Dixie race car driver Mark Martin puts the hammer down, it's pretty hard to get him to stop.
Mark, you're low on fuel. What's up, Jack? Now, dang it, listen up.
I can't believe you guys are doing this to me.
Trying to keep you hungry, man. 10 more laps.
WD brand steak from the beef people. Please join us in saluting Mark Martin in his Busch Series farewell tour.
Guess you're going to have to stay hungry.
There's something special about the folks who work at AutoZone. The fact that they know more than a thing or two about looking up parts and solving problems. Their willingness to go the extra mile. And their belief in doing what's right. So it's no wonder why millions of customers turn to us each week for help in getting back on the road. Because working at AutoZone means taking pride in taking care of people.
You missed a spot.
Presenting A Day at the Gordons, where racing champion Jeff Gordon and his wife Brooke eat new Fritos chili and scoops, a hearty cup of chili and loads of Fritos corn chips. It's fast, it's filling, it's Fritos. Perfect for people on the go. New Fritos chili and scoops and sloppy Joe and scoops. Nothing goes faster.
That 8th championship is the next one in line. I mean, that's what I live for. A lot of people think I've gotten a little older and it might not be as intimidating as it used to be. Drive it in the corner with me and see. I'll go to the limit. I'll go to the edge to win the championship. I think an 8th championship will say it all.
The NASCAR Winston Cup Championship. The race is on.
Well, I got a lot of tricks left in my bag, I guarantee you.
Busch Beer, a proud sponsor of the NASCAR Busch Series, presents a Busch Moment. All-time Busch Series win leader Mark Martin is also the winningest driver in the series at Lowe's Motor Speedway at Charlotte. 6 of his 45 career wins have come on the mile-and-a-half North Carolina track. But Martin was winless in his first 13 Busch starts at Charlotte until October of 1993. Martin started in the 5th position, but quickly worked his way to the front, leading all but 7 of the first 100 laps. It was more difficult for Martin in the second half of the race. First, he came down pit road, but couldn't stop for service because the pits were closed. Then, as Ricky Craven wrecked in front of him, Martin tagged the back of Ken Schrader's car, causing the Winn-Dixie Ford to come in for repairs. But he worked his way back through the pack, finally getting the lead back from Todd Bodine on lap 168. From there, he cruised to an easy win, beating fellow Winston Cup regulars Michael Waltrip, Dale Earnhardt, and Bill Elliott to the checkered flag.
One of 6 victories for Mark here at Lowe's Motor Speedway. He's running second to that man and machine right now. Joe Nemechek is out in front of Mark at lap 87 of 200. There you look at the interval. Nemechek, the far car in the picture. Mark Green back on the racetrack after spinning out earlier in the race at lap number 44. Mark is back in 33rd position, 4 laps down to the leader. Look at Mark's record here. Is that not incredible or what? Now, we got a report just a minute ago that something may be up with Mark's car. He's been the fastest thing on the racetrack, Mike Hogwood. Something going wrong?
Well, I talked to Jack Roush, and he said absolutely not. He says the car is loose right now, and that they took those 2 spring rubbers out of the right front. They have planned to put one in the right rear when they make a pit stop. He says he doesn't think he can get the 87 car, but thinks he can stay right where he is until they get a chance to tighten him up just a little bit.
The report we'd had was that there may be an overheating problem on Mark's car, but Jack Roush would be as good a source as any to tell us no.
I'm going to let Tony answer that one. If he's loose, I don't think he wants to put anything in the right rear corner to make it even looser.
I would not. I definitely would not want that spring rubber in there like that, because all it's going to do is just keep bringing it up even more from the center of the corner off.
Napa field summary there, upper left of your screen as we leave it running for you all race long. Here's Matt Kenseth now. Matt was the leader for the first 56 laps of this event. He fell back to 2nd, then 3rd, now 4th, 5 seconds behind leader Nemechek. Marty Snyder, what's up with Kenseth?
Well, Alan, the car was certainly dominant early in the race, but on this run, the car is extremely loose for Matt. And the problem is, especially in traffic with someone behind him. You might remember the pass Joe Nemechek made on lap 57 to get the lead. All he did was get him loose by getting right up underneath Matt Kenseth's bumper, and that's causing him a lot of problems. The car extremely loose for Matt right now. They are considering an air pressure adjustment and a wedge adjustment for Matt Kenseth. He desperately needs to be tightened up out on the racetrack.
So that's the story there on Kenseth as he runs in 4th position, now 5.3 seconds behind leader Joe Nemechek. You see the speed differential there from his last lap to the leaders, and you can see that Nemechek is getting away from him. Looking back at the interval, Nemechek to Mark Martin. Mark's closing in ever so subtly, lap after lap. I'll tell you who's having a good run today that we really haven't talked about would be Dave Blaney. He's running in 5th position. He just took a couple of spots away. He got around Ward Burton and then Jeff Burton. There's Dave. Bill Davis Racing Machine started the race in 7th spot. Solid, steady, running very good lap times.
And if you remember, he had a solid run also in Busch Grand National in Dover on this particular tire. So he has a little knowledge on it and seems to be doing the job with this particular setup on his car.
Ran from 26th to 3rd in Dover that last race, led 24 laps, as Buddy was referencing there. I tell you, he's had great qualifying runs here at Charlotte. He's not had good finishes to go with it. He's qualified in the top 3 the last 4 times he's run the Busch Series race here before this weekend. Hasn't finished well at all in any of those races. So I think he'd settle for just getting to the finish in good shape here today and maybe get that little monkey off his back.
Absolutely. The more time that Dave can spend in these cars, and it's a great asset for him to run this Busch Series right now because he doesn't have a lot of stock car experience coming from Wing Sprint cars in the World Outlaw Series. So it's a great asset to have him in a Busch car before he tries to conquer the Cup cars on Sunday each week.
Here's the leader, Joe Nemechek.
And what he has to watch for is the cars in front of him all over the racetrack. They're running the bottom groove, the center groove, all the way up against the wall right now. Everybody's searching for any grip they can get and any groove they can stick to.
He just went by 28th place Mike Dillon to put him a lap down. Tim Fedowa, Kyle Petty, Jeff Purvis, Hank Parker Jr., Tony Raines. All in that big pack of traffic in front of the leader and all hoping for a caution flag soon. Now the car in the inside lane right there, David Green, he was just on pit road under the green flag a minute ago, overheating on his car. He got some front end damage in that big jam up in lap 4. David running back in 34th position, and he is 8 laps down to the race leader.
You can see the 36 there, 10 feet away, as Joe Nemechek comes up on him. The car was very, very loose in the center part of the corner. You can see it moving around right there. Got a little damage on the left rear corner. I'm sure that was one of the altercations they had in the first part of the race. Not a problem, though. That's some of that 200-mile-an-hour tape flying around back there.
But you see the 4 cars in front of him, they're running too wide. They're not going to do anything that they can to help him get by right now. They're all trying to stay on the lead lap, and as long as they can run too wide like that, it makes it tough on him.
Wow. Did you see that?
And if Joe Nemechek sees that in front of him, I guarantee he's going to lift a little bit, too, because he's not going to want to do anything to jeopardize his car at this point in the race.
Well, the nice part of this is the second-place car, Mark Martin, has to make all these passes, too. So you have to just be patient when you come up. You know you have a car that's capable of winning. You take your time.
And he's gained over a second, and Mark Martin has trying to catch up to Joe Nemechek, and that's the advantage to being the second-place car at this point in the race and having that much lap traffic. The leaders are going to keep, not the leaders, but the lap cars are going to do everything they can to keep the leader held up, to try to keep them themselves on the lead lap. And all that does is give Mark Martin the advantage of being able to run up with clean traffic in front of him, but he's going to have to go through the same traffic. A lot of times, if you can catch up to the leader being the second-place car, you're in the best seat in the house right there. Let the leader move the traffic over, make him have to work hard to get these guys a lap down, and at the same time, to be in the second-place car, you can just follow him along and cruise through and not have to do all that work yourself.
Okay, he's got to open the door for you. And he's actually got to dance on through. Mark has gained a full second in the last 4 laps. And he continues to try and chase his way up to Joe Nemechek. There's Nemechek going by Kyle Petty. You could see the 3 drivers that all did the strategy on the pit stops. Back at lap 44, Raines, Purvis, and Kyle Petty. They've all been overtaken by Nemechek. They'd have been okay if we didn't get a real long green flag run, but the fuel only and the no tires or the 2 tires has not worked out now because we've had that very long stretch here under the green flag. Halfway when they come back to the stripe, this time off of turn 4, the race leader Joe Nemechek at Charlotte.
Briefcase.
Need new tires? Our 70,000-mile Futuras are 4 for $169. Pep Boys, one more reason cars like us, people love us.
Hey, did you get them brakes at Pep Boys?
Yeah, I did.
I appreciate it.
Now get up to $40 back on premium Rebestos brake service. Pep Boys, one more reason cars like us, people love us.
Polaris Sportsman 500 HO with a new high-output engine and 20% more power. The world's best-selling automatic ATV just got better.
His car is green, right?
No, blue.
What's his number?
88.
88. Now, which one do we want?
Dale Jarrett.
Dale Jarrett. Can you open up for me? Hey, let me ask you something. What does that sound like?
It sounds like Dale took the lead.
You did? Come on. Hey, do you know his dad's name?
Every week on the Superstation, there's a storm shaking the ground, pushing the limits. Thunder. Last week, it was business as usual.
I'm gonna hurt somebody!
When Sting foreclosed on the franchise, Mike Sanders battled Team Canada in the perfect storm. Then, Scott Steiner delivered a big pop-up punishment to the Young Dragons. Wednesday night on the Superstation, feel the thunder. Thunder. Wednesday, 9:05 Eastern, only on the Superstation.
Tomorrow at 12:35 Eastern, the UAW GM Quality 500. As Jeff Gordon leads the pack down to the green flag here at Charlotte. Also, it's the debut of TBS No Brakes coverage. Thanks to many of our sponsors, you'll see live racing during most of our commercials. We hope you'll be with us tomorrow at 12:35 Eastern here on the Superstation. Just past halfway, here's our Winn-Dixie mid-race report. Joe Nemechek is the leader. Matt Kenseth led the first 56 laps. Nemechek has led all of them since then. Mark Martin has moved up to second behind him. 3 cautions, all coming earlier. Here's the challenge for the lead. Off turn 4, Martin to the outside.
Boy, and lap traffic had nothing to do with that. He just wheeled around on the outside, took the high groove through 3 and 4, and drove right up beside Nemechek.
And what you wonder is that you wonder if that fuel load of his is burned off to where, even though he had a loose race car earlier in the run, his car may have either tightened up, or else it really shows how far off Joe Nemechek's tires really have gone off.
So Mark Martin becomes the 3rd different leader of the event, and almost tangles with Hank Parker Jr. Now Mark's got that other shoe on the foot. He's the one that's got to open the door through the traffic. Parker Jr. last on the lead lap in 23rd position. Not anymore. 17th race Mark has led in the last 18 Busch Series events here at Charlotte. And to go back and tie in the story we discussed at the top of our broadcast, talked about whether the tire swap would be an issue for Mark here this weekend. He was not very happy in final practice yesterday over the performance difference of his car from the original tire that they practiced and qualified on Thursday, the one that has been put into place for the race, the right side tire from Dover. It doesn't appear that he's any the worse for wear, and it appears that he and his crew have adapted quite nicely.
I've seen Mark Martin in the garage area a lot of times that appear to be unhappy with his race car, and he's a 10th faster than the field. So just because he's upset doesn't mean he's still not fast.
And Alan, just as you probably noticed, in most of the haulers, there was just a line of swings they tried yesterday, and Mark Martin is the perfectionist. He's never happy until he gets the car balanced. And Tony Lambert and all the boys that work on that car told me, they said, he'll be okay, but you know it's going to break until the green flag drops.
22nd place Phil Parsons about to be overtaken by the leader. No damage in the lap 4 accident that involved some 12 cars. Here's Kevin Harvick, leading rookie in the NASCAR Busch Series this season. Kevin is back in 15th position. He started up in 8th, so his car not behaving quite as he would like. You want to talk about a super rookie. Kevin has been all of that this year with 2 wins already in just his 27 Busch Series starts. That's a Richard Childress Racing entry. A lot of folks don't figure it'll be long before Harvick winds up in a NASCAR Winston Cup Series machine for RCR.
I agree with you. And the performance he had at Bristol this year, I mean, he just took it. When he got in the lead, it was pretty much over. He dominated the whole event.
Let's mention that David Green's car has gone back behind the wall. We talked about the overheating problem he was suffering. He's taken it behind the wall for repairs. Green is back there. Lyndon Amick and Jason Leffler are back on the track after time behind the wall. Dick Trickle is back after a distributor change. Kevin LePage, Mike McLaughlin, Jim Bound, Jason Jarrett, Todd Bodine, and Mike Wallace are all out of the race. 90 laps to go. Mark Martin is the race leader at Charlotte.
Still getting dandruff flakes? Maybe the problem is your dandruff shampoo. Try Neutrogena T-Gel Intensive Anti-Flake Shampoo. Fights flakes 3 ways. It may not be your first dandruff shampoo. It will be your last. Neutrogena T-Gel, it works.
From the leader in ride control technology comes a new standard in safety and control. Monroe's revolutionary Reflex with impact sensor technology that reacts instantly, shifting between firm and soft compression in just 12 milliseconds, combining superior comfort with a dramatic reduction in pitch and roll for maximum safety. Experience the new Reflex shock from Monroe. Right now, when you buy 3 Monroe Reflex or Sensitrack shocks or struts, you get the 4th one free.
There's something for everyone on AT&T Broadband. Just look what's coming this October.
Can you keep a secret?
I see dead people.
Bruce Willis. Don't move. Don't make a sound. Haley Joel Osment.
Please make me.
The Sixth Sense. I'm working on it. First on Stars. Only on Stars.
Tune in. It's all on AT&T Broadband.
Dear Lifetime, last year while watching one of your regular breast exam reminders, I did a self-exam and found a lump. Luckily, the cancer had not yet spread. You have given me a second chance at life. Regular mammograms are also extremely important, so I beg you to continue these reminders and keep saving lives.
For info on mammograms, go to lifetimetv.com. Stop breast cancer for life.
For all your breast cancer needs, call Lifespan at 969-8797.
On TBS from the Lowe's Motor Speedway, Charlotte, it's the All-Pro Bumper-to-Bumper Auto Parts 300 for the NASCAR Busch Series. Originally a forecast of rain for today. It has turned out to be a most pleasant afternoon. And a good crowd has turned out to see the 28th race of 32 in the NASCAR Busch Series season. Mark Martin is your race leader. Moved away from Joe Nemechek by 1.1 seconds now. With Jeff Green, Matt Kenseth, and Dave Blaney rounding out the top 5. Now, Jeff Burton made an early pit stop just a minute ago. As you look at the leader, Martin, come by the start-finish line. We apologize for the technical difficulty there.
And you notice all the little checker marks all over that car. Those are races that he's won in the 45 victories he has in the Busch Grand National Division. You see up there, they're all signed at the racetrack where he won at.
Baker was having a flashback when that black and white picture came up. All those old Darlington movies.
Okay,
See, I can say that because Stewart is sitting between Baker and I. Buddy's a lot bigger than me.
You just drew the line.
Oh, come on now. Here's Michael Waltrip on pit road. Lap 117 could be his final stop of the race. 83 laps. He did 93 en route to winning a year ago. Mike Skinner was just on the pit lane. He is off and back out on the racetrack.
Boy, and I tell you, Michael Waltrip, he needed the rest because he was running up against the wall so tightly, trying to hold that car and get a groove where he could get around, and did a great job of moving up, even with a car that was using up all the racetrack.
16th place, Casey Atwood on pit road. Big things ahead for that young man next year.
Wow, how would you like to have a coach like Ray Evernham and a new team in Dodge? This kid has it all going for him, and he has several wins in Busch Grand National. This year, though, winless.
It's been a pretty tough year for he and his team this year. Hey, just an interesting stat that was pointed out to me just before the pit stops began. 8 of the first 9 drivers in the standings, Winston Cup regulars. Experience is a big deal here at this racetrack.
Absolutely. I mean, the amount of time that the guys that run the Cup Series get on this racetrack with not only happy hour, but all the practice each, for the Coca-Cola 600, the event of the Winston, the time that we get there, there's a lot of time spent on the racetrack. So you learn every nook of training about it, and that's a big advantage.
Expect the leaders to come to pit. Mark Martin comes by the pit road. Joe Nemechek is in. You're looking at Hank Parker Jr. getting his service there. Hank in 23rd position. Here's Kevin Harvick in. Harvick, the 15th place car before the stop, was about to be overtaken by Mark Martin and put a lap down. In fact, has been put a lap down by Martin. Mike Massaro has the Joe Nemechek pit stop for us.
And Joe Nemechek's team immediately going to work on the right side. The car has been just a little bit loose, believe it or not. They made an air pressure adjustment, only about a half a pound on the right side. They'll take on 4 tires and fuel and hope to get them back out at the same pace with Mark Martin. He's down and away, a good stop at 17.8 seconds.
Waiting on Mark Martin, the leader, to come in now as he continues flying around this racetrack. Mark at the moment. There's Ricky Hendrick who is coming in. Jason Keller, check that. Yeah, Jason Keller, excuse me, had some troubles getting onto the pit lane there. Did a little fishtail there, but kept it clean. See Randy LaJoie in. Mark Martin coming by pit road again.
Mark's very happy with the car apparently right now, and he realizes that a little more fuel mileage might pay off later on.
Here's Jeff Green on pit road. Point leaders in. 78 laps to go. Kenny Wallace has been in. Jay Sauter's been in. Kyle Petty has also been in for pit stops. Bobby Hamilton Jr. Ward Burton is in. And let's follow Jeff Green to his pit stall. Here's Marty Snyder.
And Jeff Green coming in for what will be his last pit stop. Oh, and his teammate, Jason Keller, hits him. And now he blocks his teammate in, and Jeff Green is outside the pit box, hitting his car. His teammate trying to get out right now. And Matt Kenseth is going to come down pit road in just a moment. Jeff Green's car started a little bit loose. It came to him during that run, however. They were going to make a wedge adjustment. I believe they have foregone that now. They did make an air pressure adjustment on Jeff Green's car. That will be a costly mistake on pit road, however, as they're still working on the left side. Now down 19.8 on the stop for Jeff Green.
Now, the reason he will not be penalized for pitting out of the box is you saw the right front tire was in the box. If you get 3 tires in the box and the right rear is the only one hanging out, you're okay. Here's the leader on pit road. 77 laps to go. It'll be 76 for Mark as he crosses the stripe on pit lane. Mike Hogwood is there to call the stop for us.
And Mark Martin coming to the attention of Tony Lambert and the crew. Very little adjustments on the car now. They are making a wedge adjustment. They made an air pressure adjustment. Mark Martin still wants that car tightened up just a little bit. Said it was a little bit loose, but he has been running awfully strong. Left side's being bolted on the 60 car now. He is down and away. Marty Snyder.
Matt Kenseth is in. He's running 4th. As we said, the car extremely loose. They have taken out a half pound of the right rear, a half pound into the right front, down 1.5 rounds of the track bar waiting for the fuel. They drop him. Matt Kenseth is back out on the racetrack.
Dave Blaney is on pit road getting service there. He leaves, heads back out onto the racetrack. There's Blaney. Moved up to 3rd just before his pit stop.
That guy with the hat on there, of course, that was Jack Brown.
Yep. Owner for Mark Martin and Jeff Burton. Here is Ted Musgrave coming down the pit lane. Haven't really talked about Ted a whole lot today. Started the race in 18th position. And just before making the pit stop, let's see, where had Ted moved to in the rundown? He was up to 2nd before the stop, so he was on the lead lap. Bill Parsons smoking a little bit on the racetrack. Jimmy Johnson is in the lead right now. Yeah, there you see the problems with the Parsons car.
Oh boy, and nothing's
that looks like the left rear fender's down on the tire, like he's broken a shock or something.
That or just a body rub right now.
Jimmy Johnson, the leader, is on pit road. Look at fire in the Jimmy Johnson pit. Something's gone wrong with the refueling. Look at him continue to work on the tires on the right side while the extinguishers go off on the left. Mike Hogwood, what's up?
Well, actually, I can see nothing because of the smoke is very thick, and all the crew members are getting in their eyes. They are getting away from it. We're getting away from the pit here. Alan, I'll be honest, I've got smoke in my eyes, and I'm backing up as well. I can see absolutely nothing on that car.
Something. There's Tony Liberati, the crew chief, there with his headset on at the front of the car, just in front of the window. He's just stepped back out of the picture, waiting to see now if any of the crew members were injured, and Mike will follow up on that for us. Mike, they're going to finish the rest of the stop. And
I guess it's important they probably clean the smoke off the windshield, though, so we can at least see if he tries to leave.
My concern at the moment is, why did the car catch on fire when they fueled it? You see them spraying in the trunk. Did fuel get dumped in there? Something's happened. There's one of the crewmen getting attention.
Yeah, I noticed he had to leave the scene down there. He was right where they were putting in the fuel, and just for a moment, he had fire on him.
Mike Hogwood.
Well, one member of the crew, it looked like he has some smoke inhalation there. trying to get some water. He's got a little bit of a burn on his nose. Other than that, it does not appear that anybody was seriously injured. There are some paramedics who are down here around him. The smoke has cleared in the pit area. But, boy, that was a scary moment there as all of us who were down here were inhaling that smoke. And several of the guys had to back up and get away just a little bit. But it looks like no one is seriously injured, and that is good news.
All right, Mike will follow up on that for us here over the next several minutes. Tough break there for Jimmy Johnson, and very, very scary moment there on pit road. On the exchange of stops, Joe Nemechek took the lead back from Mark Martin. That actually happened a few minutes ago, but we were paying attention to the scary moment there down in the pit lane. 127 was the lap that Nemechek took over. Look at the fire already. He's not even in his pit box. It doesn't look like. Something funny there.
You could see the guy back that we were just talking about. He was up in this area right in there. He had to get that back over where the fire equipment was and put out the fire. It was actually on his uniform there as he went around behind the war wagon, as we call it, the toolbox.
What I'm trying to figure out, and if we can see that again, that fire's happened. He overshot his pit when he pulled in, hit it into reverse, and started to back up. And I'm trying to figure out how it started. The fuel man must have plugged the gas in when he overshot the pit, and when he popped it in reverse and backed up, the can must have come out.
Well, you don't see
gasoline.
You don't see a fuel guy there right now. You can actually see him over
he's already run back. He's already caught on fire. The fuel man has run to go get help. See all the commotion top of the screen there in the back? So I'm thinking when you saw Jimmy back the car up there, he had already plugged the fuel can in, and when Jimmy backed the car up, it broke the dry brake somehow.
Well, keep in mind, too, also, the headers are in front of the left rear tire. The dry brake is behind the left rear tire. So if their fuel was spilled, when he backed up, the header is so close to the ground, that's probably what ignited the fuel.
Wow. Scary there. And again, a follow-up report on the crew member that was being attended to, though. Mike Hogwood telling us that, as you can see, it does not appear to be serious in any way. So, 68 laps to go after the round of pit stops. Nemechek, Martin, Kenseth, Jeff Green, and Ward Burton are your top five.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. The NBA is in the house of TBS and TNT.
Thursday. The NBA is in the house on TBS and TNT starting Tuesday, October 31st.
You guys got room for one more?
The mountains of Busch Beer, proud sponsor of the NASCAR Busch Series.
So that's your new car, the Aaron's Dream Machine.
Oh, yeah, ain't she a beauty? Of course, she don't compare to the wife, though.
Really, these are the true Aaron's Dream Machines, the products we all dream about owning.
And at Aaron's, everyone's automatically pre-approved with no credit required?
Yeah, and you get the guaranteed lowest price, too.
Even on these impressive GE stainless steel appliances, you can afford this state-of-the-art range and beautiful matching side-by-side refrigerator.
And I'm really pre-approved?
That's right. Let Aaron's drive your dreams home today.
Attention all freshmen. Please report to the Student Center this afternoon. There will be a new student meeting.
He finished in 4. The bulb? It's on the 5-year plan.
The Philips Marathon bulb. Good for 5 years. Guaranteed. Philips. Light bulbs that last.
Back at Lowe's Motor Speedway, Charlotte, Joe Nemechek is the leader of the All-Pro Bumper-to-Bumper 300 for the NASCAR Busch Series. Nemechek getting the lead on an exchange of pit stops, taking it away from Mark Martin at lap number 127. Now, the interval from Nemechek back to Martin is 1.8 seconds. There's Mark. Looking ahead, Nemechek, the red car, bottom, all the way forward on your screen. Nemechek just overtaking the Mike Dillon car behind Martin That is the now lap car of Jimmy Johnson, the one that was involved in the pit fire a minute ago. Johnson is back in 30th position, 4 laps down after the chaos that resulted, deservedly so, on the stop of a moment ago. Matt Kenseth, the third-place car, is 8.8 seconds behind the leader. So it's shaping up without a caution flag to be a two-man race to the finish here.
And it's the typical way that things shake out in a race. Some people hit the adjustments they need to make the car better. Some that looked dominant, looked like they were going to run away, like Matt Kenseth, made a few adjustments. They were the wrong way. Now he's back 8 seconds.
Keep in mind, too, though, the last run, Joe Nemechek did stretch out a pretty good lead on Mark Martin, but Mark was able to reel him in at the end of the run, so it's obvious that Joe's
I agree.
really
Mark
good at the
Martin will
beginning.
take care of his tires, and as they go along, I think Mark will be the guy that he has to worry about, no question about it.
Let's go back down to the Jimmy Johnson pit, Mike Hogwood.
Well, now that it's calm down here, we can tell you what happened. Brian Smith hit the gas can into the car. Johnson overslid his pits, so he had to come back into the pit, and when he did come back into the pit, the gas can came off of the car, gas spilled everywhere, and when it hit on the header pipes, that's when the fire erupted. Smith did get some minor burns on his face and a little bit on his neck, but he walked away from here. The good news is Brian Smith is going to be okay, but that is the gas can that caught on fire, and it was just a matter of overshooting the pits, and when he backed up, the gas can came out of the tank and fuel went everywhere.
Alan, you could see one thing for sure. They wear these gloves, protective gloves and everything. That was what was on fire. When you see the guy running away from there, it was actually the fireproof gloves and all that the gas man wear.
Super day for Ron Hornaday. Look at the run he's had today. 37th to 10th. Mike Massaro has more on Ron Hornaday's day so far. Mike?
And Alan, quite honestly, after happy hour yesterday afternoon, the entire Hornaday team, their confidence was really in the dumps. They were horrible, down near the 40th marker on the speed charts. They found out, though, this morning that they may have had a bad set of tires during happy hour. As you recall, the shortage of tires pretty much has limited these teams to one set of tires during happy hour. So they rolled the dice. They gambled a little bit on the setup. They took a half pound of air pressure out of the right rear, a half round of wedge out of the right side as well, and it seems to be working. As you mentioned, they've picked up 27 spots on the grid so far.
Great day for Hornaday. Currently 5th in the championship standings, and currently 10th in the All-Pro Bumper-to-Bumper 300. All right, that'll the races tomorrow, but we'll have it live on TBS.
Bob.
Claire.
Bob.
Claire.
Michael.
Michael.
Bob? Claire?
Want your own monster truck? You can win one during Napa's Monster Truck Giveaway, or win one of over 5,000 mini monster trucks. Plus, save on hundreds of items. Enter at a participating Napa Auto Parts store today.
Before icky weather hits, let Gemini take a closer look at your car.
Right now, we'll change your oil, inspect your hoses, top off your antifreeze, analyze your battery condition, and check your brakes. But we won't stop there. We'll rotate your tires, measure your tread depth, and adjust your air pressure. We'll even replace your wiper blades, all for just $44.
Plus, gives you a free jug of blue wiper stuff so you can see where you're going.
Gemini Automotive Care.
We're making drivers smile.
You know, this is great.
Rediscover the lost art of conversation. Go RVing. Life's a trip. Visit an RV dealer or call for a free video.
What do you think?
Not what you expected? Try Glidden Idea Cards. Use them for color combinations, design tips, and inspiration. Mix in a little advice from the Home Depot, and soon you'll be paying with confidence. Glidden in the Home Depot. What a great idea.
Ken Squire with you. here at the All-Pro Bumper to Bumper Auto Parts 300 taking place at Lowe's Motor Speedway, where at the present time, Joe Nemechek continues out in front. Happy hour is to follow, the last chance to get it right for the UAW GM Quality 500, 12:35 Eastern tomorrow for our pre-race. Take a look at some of the highlights that we've seen thus far. Calamity in the early going. Amick out of control, spins across the track. LaJoie comes with him, 9 others involved, and then Amick's crew gets into it with some of the others that weren't too happy with the way he was driving. Later on, number 63, spinning, catching the wall, and that was a very short day for that team. Pass for the lead. Here's Nemechek in the lead. Then lap 105, Mark Martin up to the outside, taking a spot. Just moments ago, Jimmy Johnson pit road. Header catches fuel on fire. And it was a scary moment there. Seems to be that everybody is all right. One of the crew members got slight burns, but that seems to be the sum of it. And so after 200 miles, Nemechek continues as the lead with 4 lead changes, 3 cautions to date, and the speed has escalated to 135 miles an hour. Let's go back and join Alan Bestwick. All right, Ken, thank you. There is Joe Nemechek up by 2.3 seconds on Mark Martin. He's moving away from him now. The Mark had closed in a little bit. Here's a look back through the entire field. On the left of your screen, you see the top 3 there. Kenseth led the first 56 laps of the event, but after being passed by Nemechek at lap 57, has never really come back toward the front. Solid day for Ward Burton. Started 27, moved up as far as 2nd. He's running 4th now. Jeff Green, the championship leader, hanging right in there in the top 7 or 8 all day. He runs in 6th. Jeff Burton, not a factor all day. Really kind of surprised by that. He's not been up any higher than, what, 4th, 5th at any point in the race. Mike Skinner and Michael Waltrip in the back half of the top 10 all day. Ron Hornaday, we talked about him just a few minutes ago, and Hamilton Jr. continues to have a steady and solid run. After starting in 9th, he runs in 12th. Ricky Hendrick, 15th position in his first Charlotte outing. There's Randy LaJoie. He was involved in the big crash back at lap 4 and 5. Damage to that machine. Despite it, he's come up to the 18th position. Kyle Petty and Tony Raines tried some pit strategy earlier. They got lapped in a long green flag run. Didn't work out for them. Now you're looking at cars that are at least 1 lap down to the race leader, Joe Nemechek. Jeff Purvis, same thing. He tried some pit strategy earlier, got overtaken in the middle of the race. Jimmy Johnson, 4 laps down. Blaze Alexander involved in the early crash. Eldon Sawyer just made another unscheduled pit stop a minute ago, dropped him to 30th position. And the cars from 37th on down, all in the garage area. Out of the race, Dick Trickle started on the front row, had to change a distributor on his car earlier. And that's the way the field stands with 47 laps to go. This is on board with Joe Nemechek.
Yeah, and you can see what he's caught up against right now as Mark Martin starts to roll him back in now. He's starting to reel him in as you can see, nowhere to go. These cars run side by side. Every lap, Mark Martin's getting closer now. Bobby Hamilton Jr. certainly fighting for position, so he can't just pull over and quit because the leader's behind him.
Hamilton Jr. and Keller are racing for 12th and 13th, and they are the last cars on the lead lap. Let's go to Mike Hogwood.
Well, Joe Nemechek has a problem, and it is a big one. If this race stays green, he cannot make it all the way. He'll come up a lap to a lap and a half short on fuel. Right now, he's a little upset that they didn't stay out for another lap. Remember, Mark Martin pitted 3 laps later than Nemechek, so he does have fuel to go all the way if this race stays green, but Joe Nemechek does not.
Well, Nemechek stopped at lap 120, and I'm a little bit surprised they can't go 80 laps on the fuel.
Unless they didn't get both cans fully in the car, so they may have came back and measured and realized they didn't get a full 22 gallons in the car.
It brings up an interesting point that I want to talk about as you look at some of the traffic jammed up in front of the top 2. And between Nemechek and Martin, and how Nemechek got the lead. Martin had a slightly faster pit stop, but Nemechek was out on fresh tires for 4 laps.
And exactly that. He gained quite a bit, but right now Mark Martin knows he has enough fuel, and I'm certain right now, look at the interval. It's down to less than 3 car lengths, 4 NASCAR lens as they go through the corner. It was over 2 seconds just a second ago.
And he may be trying to save fuel also, so that may be the reason that Mark has been able to close in as quickly as he has.
About 80 seconds ago. Does that make sense? It'd be hard to close 2 seconds in a second, but yeah.
Second time today that we have seen Nemechek leading, Martin behind him. And Martin closed up a big deficit while Nemechek worked the lap traffic and opened the lane through. 43 laps to go here in Charlotte.
Never once did your car ask you for jewelry or flowers. Never once did it ask you if it looked fat, or did it get mad at you for leaving the seat up. Your car always gives you exactly what you want. Doesn't it deserve something special in return?
Listen, I've traveled every road in this here land. I've been everywhere, man. Across the desert bare, man. I breathe the mountain air, man. I've traveled, I've had my share, man. I've been everywhere. I've been to Reno, Chicago.
Across America, in communities just like yours, Citgo is there to help keep you going. Stop by next time you're in the neighborhood. We're always happy to see a familiar face.
I've been everywhere.
You want it? You got it. You want it? Baby, just bust a move. I wanted to chill, but making all of my travel arrangements was freaking me out. So I went to Priceline.com where you can name your own price for some dope airfare, a hip hotel, a fly rental car. You want some of this? Then you know what to do, dog. Bust a move.
Just don't appreciate the earth-shattering sound you get when we install a 12-inch subwoofer in your car.
The All-Pro Bumper-to-Bumper Auto Parts 300 on the Superstation. Brought to you by Citgo's nearly 14,000 neighborhood-owned locations nationwide. All run by folks who love racing as much as you do. By Priceline.com. Name your own price. Airline tickets, hotel rooms, new cars, mortgages, and more. Priceline.com. And by Circuit City, the official electronics store of NASCAR.
Andrea Nemechek looking on as her husband Joe continues to lead the All-Pro Bumper-to-Bumper Auto Parts 300 at Charlotte. But does he have enough fuel to go to the finish without a caution flag? The answer so far from his pit crew is no, an answer that has not been well received by the driver in the cockpit, who also happens to be the team owner. Here's Mark Martin hanging right in there with Joe.
And Tony, I bet already Mark Martin knows about what's going on here.
Exactly. All these teams are scanning each other's frequencies, so when something's said on the radio, they know what's going on. So I bet you that Mark Martin knows exactly the situation that Joe Nemechek is in with the fuel situation, and he's not going to get in a big hurry right now because he doesn't have to. So he's just going to sit and ride. He's got to worry about Matt Kenseth behind him, and if Nemechek does have to pit, then if he tries to race him hard right now, he's racing him hard for nothing.
Napa Field summary, upper left of your screen. Letting you know where everybody is. Haven't talked about Jason Keller. He's had a pretty solid day today. Moved up to the 11th spot. He's just kind of been hanging there just outside the top 10 all day long. All right, so they're free of lap traffic for a minute. So can Mark do anything with him here? Well, let's go back and take a look at Jeff Green and Jeff Burton racing for 6th and 7th spots. Burton having just taken the position away from Green in the last lap. Marty Snyder has more on this for us. Marty?
And the points leader, Jeff Green, is struggling. His car is extremely tight. It's been getting tighter the longer he ran, and that's been the case all day long. But problem is it started tight on this run, and it's getting worse. He was in 4th when this run started. He has fallen now back to 7th, and Jeff Burton just passed him on the racetrack as we just saw. So trouble for the points leader. His car extremely tight.
Well, the good news for him is he's got a 516-point lead, and it's not like he's sweat. Oh, boy, a couple cars just bounced off of each other off turn 4, caught my attention out the window. Ward Burton and Dave Blaney almost getting swept up in a crash, the 4th and 5th place runners. Mark Martin stalking Joe Nemechek with 34 laps to go.
Paging Dr. North.
When lives are on the line, you rely on the specialized training and expertise of real professionals. People who use the tools at their disposal to find out what's wrong and fix it. But even with years of experience, it's not always easy. Appearances can be deceiving, because even though this isn't a hospital, this is a surgeon. He just operates on cars.
Paging Dr. North. Your car is ready.
CarQuest, their professional choice.
People always ask me where I like to go, as if I had some secret riding spot somewhere. But if you ask me, having someplace to go sort of takes all the fun out of it, don't you think? The 155 horsepower GP 1200R from Yamaha, the most powerful wave runner ever made. Yamaha, the most popular boat on the water.
Through October, get 000 financing until March 2001 on all new 2001.
No compassion. An exhibition of anguish, suffering, distress. An infliction of pain that rips through one's body. These men will not show forgiveness. They will show no mercy. WWF No Mercy. Live Sunday, October 22nd on pay-per-view. Order and you may receive Undertaker the Phenom home video. For details, visit WWF.com.
Shopping for a diamond engagement ring just got easier, because at Premier Jewelers, we now have over 400 different styles of engagement rings. 400. That's 5 times the number of styles you'd find at an average jewelry store. You'll find rings in popular platinum and a selection of certified diamonds. There's no need to visit 5 different stores at the mall when you can shop Battle Creek's biggest selection of engagement rings and the diamonds to go with them at Battle Creek's Premier Jewelers.
Citgo presents Who Won It? It's always a great show when the NASCAR Busch Series takes to the high banks of Charlotte, and the race back in May was no exception. NASCAR's top drivers battle for the victory. Jeff Green, Todd Bodine, Jeff Gordon, Mark Martin, and Jeff Burton all were serious contenders for the win. But who won it? It was Jeff Burton, beating his Roush Racing teammate Mark Martin to the checkered flag to claim his first Busch Series win at Charlotte.
And Mark Martin finds himself in the 2nd position again as we get down to the late stages of this one. The All-Pro Bumper-to-Bumper 300. Joe Nemechek in that car is the man out in front. But does Nemechek have enough fuel to get to the finish? We think not. Let's hear from his crew chief, Brian Patty.
All right, Brian, what's the story on the fuel?
It's going to be tight. Never would have thought that it would have green flag this whole time, but 31 Chevrolet just has been on the rail all day long. In any respect, whatever happens, whether we run out of fuel or not, I believe they knew we were here, and that's the whole main goal. We built a brand new race car to come here, try to win a couple races here late in the year, so all the guys are doing a great job preparing for next year, along with trying to win some races this year.
Are you going to bring him in for a splash of fuel, or you're going to just try to make it?
I'm not here for points. I'm here to win trophies.
Well, you heard it from Brian Patty. They're going for it, but there are a lot of fingers crossed down here. They think they're a little bit short still.
Yeah, fingers, toes, and everything else. The problem they've got is Mark Martin is keeping the pressure on, and they can't back off the pace any to try and conserve fuel. Here's Matt Kenseth running 3rd. Marty?
Well, and with 27 laps to go, don't count out Matt Kenseth yet. The car has returned to how it was early in the race when he led the first 56 laps, and he is catching Mark Martin on the racetrack. He has consistently, for about 20 laps, been 2/10 of a second faster per lap than Mark Martin. He is catching Mark Martin. He is aware of Joe Nemechek's problem. They think they still have a shot to win this race.
Haven't heard from Matt Kenseth since lap number 56 as far as the lead is concerned. He led the first 56 laps. Nemechek 57 to 105. Martin 106 to 124. And Nemechek picked it up after pit stops 127 to now at 175.
15 days of 007 on the Superstation. Tonight at 8:05.
I decided to accept your invitation.
I'm flattered.
Dr. No. Then at 10:35. From Russia with Love. 15 days of 007. Tonight at 8:05 Eastern. Only on the Superstation.
Of Busch Beer. Proud sponsor of the NASCAR Busch Series.
She's a real beauty. And she never bugs you about spending so much time with the guys. She never complains about you watching football. She thinks a little gas is a good thing. Maybe she isn't a she after all. Here's to the perfect relationship. Here's how to keep it that way.
From the leader in ride control technology comes a new standard in safety and control. Monroe's revolutionary Reflex with impact sensor technology that reacts instantly, shifting between firm and soft compression in just 12 milliseconds, combining superior comfort with a dramatic reduction in pitch and roll for maximum safety. Experience the new Reflex shock from Monroe. Right now, when you buy 3 Monroe Reflex or Sensatrack shocks or struts, you get the 4th one free.
LA West Luxury Vehicles, available nationwide from select Ford dealers. Call us at 1-800-786-VANS. New for all race fan families, introducing the Simpson Child Car Safety Seat, available soon at these racing places. For more information, visit our website at www.simpsonraceproducts.com. Chase Authentics is the authentic trackside apparel of NASCAR. Authentic racing apparel you'll find on hot drivers. Chase Authentics.
21 laps to go as we come back to Charlotte. And a new second-place runner, Matt Kenseth. We talked about from pit road a minute ago, was on the charge. He has just taken the number 2 position away from Mark Martin. It was one heck of a dogfight to get it away. Let's take another look. Here it is from onboard Kenseth's car. This is turn 3.
That's Mark down on the low side there, and you see Kenseth with a lot of momentum here. Looks like he has it made. He makes the pass there, coming down the front straightaway, using lap cars to move along, but that didn't last.
No, it sure didn't, because the next lap by, Mark tried to make the same move on Kenseth. He tried to go to the outside of him and pin him there. It didn't work out. We talked at the very top of our show about some concern over tires here today. Mike Massaro has a wrap-up report for us. Mike?
And Alan, yes, that has been a big story throughout the afternoon. We mentioned at the top of the show that there may indeed be a shortage of tires here for the Busch Series. The right side tires actually being the Dover tires. However, we are very happy to inform everybody that there have been no incidents on the racetrack directly attributed to the tires. And as far as we know, there has not been a shortage on pit road. But another tire-related story right now developing in Ward Burton's pit. He just came down pit road and fell from the top 5. The reason? He tried to pass some lap traffic and got squeezed into the outside wall. You can see here, these are the right side tires. They scuffed up against the concrete, and you can still see the white concrete dust embedded in the rubber on the sidewalls.
That wasn't a lap car he was trying to pass. That was Dave Blaney. He was racing for 4th spot. That happened at lap 169, about 13 laps ago. Does Joe Nemechek have enough fuel left to the finish? We find out next.
All dressed up and no way to get there. Do you need this from your car? Of course not. You may take it for granted until it doesn't start. We can't. We know how important your car is. We take care of your vehicle, so it'll take good care of you. At All Pro and Bumper to Bumper, that's a promise from us to you. It's a promise we take seriously. You're welcome. At All Pro and Bumper to Bumper Automotive Service Centers, we do the job right. Who knows? You might even make the last couple of innings.
Here at Cooper Tires Test Track, they're developing some pretty impressive tires.
Okay, Record time, Mr. Palmer.
Cooper Tires. Drive on.
Oh, Becky, look. There's a Big Dipper. And there's Orion.
Daddy?
Uh-huh.
Who turns off the stars at night?
Nobody. They're on all night.
So how come we never see them from home?
Discover the world through a new set of eyes. Go RVing. Visit an RV dealer or call for a free video.
Paging Dr. Norris. Dr. Norris.
When lives are on the line, you rely on the specialized training and expertise of real professionals. People who use the tools at their disposal to find out what's wrong and fix it. But even with years of experience, it's not always easy. Appearances can be deceiving, because even though this isn't a hospital, this is a surgeon. He just operates on cars.
Paging Dr. Norris. Your car is ready.
CarQuest, the professional choice.
Back at Charlotte, down to the final stages of the All-Pro Bumper-to-Bumper 300 for the NASCAR Busch Series. Joe Nemechek leads Matt Kenseth and Mark Martin. 13 laps to go. Question as to whether Nemechek can make the finish on the fuel he has on board. Matt Kenseth overhauled Mark Martin for second spot a little while ago. There is Mark falling back in third. Mike Hogwood has more from his pit.
I just talked to crew chief Tony Lambert. He said Mark is very, very loose. Can't get a hold of the racetrack. Just hanging on right now.
He's going to hang on for another 13 laps.
I think when we saw him run up behind Joe Nemechek earlier, and we were speculating that he knew the fuel situation, I think he just kind of ran out of tires when he got there. If that car got loose when he got there, he just kind of was stagnant from there on, and then eventually it's just going to keep getting worse as he's doing the drop back.
Yeah, and I think he was pretty pleased with his car and didn't make the adjustments that Joe Nemechek obviously made on his car, because he was dropping back before he got stopped. Now he seems to be flawless out there. This car is running, but fuel, if he runs out, it can handle great.
Yeah.
But they don't do too well when they run out of fuel.
11 laps to go as Nemechek crosses the stripe. Tony Stewart needs to get you out of the booth, down inside to get suited up for happy hour. Look forward to your helping us through our coverage there, and keeping us posted on how your car shakes out as you get ready for the three-peat try tomorrow.
All right, guys, sounds good.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Smoke. Tony Stewart with us here on TBS today here at Charlotte. Headed inside, he will help us with our coverage of NASCAR Happy Hour, which comes up next, right after the 300 here on the Superstation. So the big thing now, it doesn't appear that Matt Kenseth is catching Joe Nemechek anymore. The lap times have stabilized. Nemechek is actually stretching his advantage over Kenseth just a little bit. So now the entire question becomes, it looks like with 10 to go, the fuel pressure gauge on Nemechek's car.
That one right in there. If it goes over to zero, oh boy.
All done. Doesn't have a big enough lead that unless it happens, 100 yards from the finish line, he's going to be able to hold off Matt Kenseth, because Matt is only 2 seconds behind him. There you see Nemechek, and we will widen out, and there's Matt Kenseth. So he's going to have to be just about at that little paved inset there in the tri-oval grass and run out if he's going to hold off Kenseth for the win. Of course, assuming Matt's good to go to the finish, too.
Yeah, and think about this. Also, Nemechek's probably trying to run and not use any more fuel than he has to, so he might be in a conservative mood right now, but he can't rest because the 17 to Kenseth is really closing in a little bit now.
Marty Snyder's in Matt Kenseth's pit. Marty?
Well, and Matt is aware of Joe Nemechek's potential problem. Russ Strupp is his crew chief. We'll talk to him real quick. Russ, can you catch him?
Yeah, I think we might have something for Nemechek. I don't know. He's pretty tough when he's out front. We're sure going to give him a hell of a shot at it.
And they are catching him a little bit, Alan. It varies. They'll run the same speed as him on certain laps, and other laps they'll be about 2/10 quicker, but they do think they can catch him. They're not worried about Nemechek's fuel situation.
I'm going to beg to differ, Marty, because looking down here, the interval has gone from 1.2 seconds to 1.8 in the last couple laps. Nemechek is running just about nose to nose what Kenseth is.
And the one thing I have noticed, Mark Martin fans don't give up on him either. He watched what Matt Kenseth was doing to get around the racetrack, and he has that forward dialed in. He's moved right on the back of Kenseth's car now.
Jeff Burton we saw on pit road for a late splash of fuel. Michael Waltrip was also in and has dropped them from the top 10 runners in the event. Ted Musgrave has moved into the top 10 with the Burton stop. Haven't talked about Ted much all day. He's in the 10th position. Hornaday's 9th, Hamilton Jr.'s 8th. Sal solid run for Jason Keller in 7th. He is the first car 1 lap down. There are 6 on the lead lap. Nemechek, Kenseth, Martin, Blaney, Mike Skinner, and Jeff Green, the championship leader. And Jeff Green, with that 6th place finish today, is going to go a long way toward being in position to wrap up the NASCAR Busch Series Championship 2 weeks from today in Rockingham, North Carolina. 5 laps to go for Joe Nemechek. Here's an interesting stat. Joe Nemechek led this race at halfway. Do you know the leader at halfway has won only 8 of 27 races this season? If you're superstitious, it wasn't a good thing to be leading at halfway.
I'll tell you that. I guarantee you one thing right now. He's got one eye on the groove right now. One eye in the mirror, and occasionally that right eye has to go over and look at that fuel gauge.
Mike Skinner has come down pit road. He's also going to get a penalty for speeding entering the pit lane. So Skinner is going to be held there when he gets set to leave. Fuel is in. They're waving at the official to get out from front of the car, but he doesn't move until they're done to get their hands off the car. So that's going to cost Skinner a lot of time for the Andy Petrie team. All right, it's back to 1.2 seconds for Kenseth. So now it's swung back the other way. He's closing a little bit. Showing you the cars on the lead lap and the rotating scoreboard in the upper left of your screen, and there are just 5 of them now, with the late stops here by Burton, Waltrip, and Skinner. 1.2 seconds. The difference is past time by. 3 laps to go. It all comes, as Skinner comes back up off the pit lane there, it all comes down to if Nemechek's car burps. That's all it comes down to right now. Fluttering. It's fluttering.
Oh, my.
He's running out of fuel. He's running out of fuel. Here comes Matt Kenseth to the outside. New leader with 2 laps to go.
And he just knocked it out neutral there. Matt Kenseth leading. Mark Martin closed in a little bit because they had to avoid Nemechek getting in the corner there. They're nose to tail down the back straightaway.
You rode with Joe Nemechek when the engine started fluttering and the fuel tank ran dry. He's led since lap 127 at 198. He's out of gas. Matt Kenseth is the new leader. Mark Martin is second. They'll come around to take the white flag. Final lap of the 300. Can Martin get up and put a challenge on Kenseth for the win?
That's why they call it racing. You never know what's going to happen.
Listening to Kenseth's engine, seeing if it rumbles at all. He pitted 4 laps later than Nemechek. Matt Kenseth started on the pole, led the first 56 laps. He came back to the lead with 2 laps to go. Checkered flag, 2nd straight win in Busch Series competition for Wisconsin's Matt Kenseth.
And back-to-back victories in the Busch Grand National Series here for Matt Kenseth.
Kenseth the winner. Martin finishes 2nd. It'll be Blaney 3rd, Jeff Green 4th, and Nemechek is going to take it right back to the garage and not even try and get 5th position after running out of fuel with 2 laps to go.
Boy, that was a great effort. He tried everything he could do. He had to race 1 if he didn't run out of fuel, but it quit.
You heard Brian Patty, his crew chief, say they were not interested in anything but trophies. They didn't get it today here in Charlotte. Marty Snyder is with Matt Kenseth's crew chief.
Well, what a celebration for this crew, 2 in a row, Russ, and I guess you'll take them any way you can get them.
I'll take them any way we can get it. This team is awesome. I mean, the Visine team, Chevrolet gives us a good body. We got it tuned in pretty good. Goodyear had a good tire here considering what happened this weekend. Matt, he's just a sensational driver. We had awesome pit stops again today. I guess the luck fell our way again.
They were dominant early and dialed it in late. Matt Kenseth heads to victory lane again.
Russ Strupp has only been the crew chief of this car for a few races. He's got back-to-back wins with Matt Kenseth. We'll hear from Matt when we come back to Charlotte.
Command of the road with Hanguk. Ground control. Hanguk tires.
Bob.
Claire.
Bob.
Claire.
Michael.
Michael.
Bob? Claire?
Want your own monster truck? You can win one during Napa's Monster Truck Giveaway, or win one of over 5,000 mini monster trucks. Plus, save on hundreds of items. Enter at a participating Napa Auto Parts store today.
The rigid 10-inch table saw powers through even the toughest hardwoods. The oscillating sander converts from spindle to edge belt sanding in seconds. Engineered for power and precision, each and every rigid tool carries a lifetime warranty. But when it comes to something with even more power, Rigid's got that too. Rigid, available at the Home Depot.
I'm here to play football for the Irish.
You're 5 feet nothing, 100 and nothing, and you got hardly a speck of athletic ability.
You're going to end up getting yourself killed.
Get out!
I can do it, Coach!
For the first time on the Superstation.
I'm going to be on the sidelines, in uniform. Ready, champ? I'm ready for this my whole life.
The true story of Rudy. Coming October 28th to the Superstation.
Back at Charlotte, looking down on Lowe's Motor Speedway, where the All-Pro Bumper-to-Bumper 300 has just been won by Matt Kenseth. He took the lead from Joe Nemechek just as they crossed the start-finish line with 2 laps to go. When Nemechek ran out of gas, when we saw it live, we were on board with Nemechek's car, listening to the engine flutter. Here's the look from the outside.
You can see him wiggling in the back. Oh, my, you could hear him when he shut her down right there. The motor quit.
Kenseth by and into the lead. He held off Mark Martin for the final lap at 3/4. Nemechek wound up finishing 5th. Let's hear from him with Mike Massaro.
Well, Joe, when you gamble, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. What are your thoughts?
What a day, huh? I can't say enough for the whole Cellular One, Nortel Networks, and Nokia Chevrolet. These guys worked hard. This is a brand new car. The thing was awesome. That last run, I was just cruising. Wagner Automotive, all those guys built me one heck of a motor. I mean, I was just trying to save gas the whole last run. You know, the guys that Brian Patty told me beginning of the last run, he says, man, you got to save some gas. We're going to be a lap and a half short. And I save, and then here come Mark and Matt Kenseth, and I had to get going, but it's just a shame to lose one that way. I mean, this had an awesome race car, and I can't wait for tomorrow.
A huge emotional swing for you. What were your thoughts when the car started to flutter?
I saw the fuel pressure bounce, and I figured I had 2 more laps in it, and it didn't. It run out here on the front stretch and takes your heart. And your heart goes from here down to the bottom of the seat. And just, I mean, I'm frustrated. All the guys are frustrated, but you know, who would ever thought we'd go 2 runs on gas? And you know, we never planned for it. If we would have done that, we'd let some jet out of the carburetor yesterday.
Frustration indeed, but still a top 5 finish for Joe Nemechek. To Ken Squire.
With his fiancée, Katie, awaiting. Here's the champion today, as he was at the 600, Matt Kenseth, out of Cambridge, Wisconsin. Rings at Lowe's Motor Speedway. Oh, my heart. Hey, fella, you were both good and you were lucky today.
Yeah, we were. I tell you, the Visine Craft Food Chevrolet was really good right from the start. We were real fast when we took off, and I said, hey, we're going to have a good day. And then the car got real loose on me, and then the last set I was actually too tight, but we were catching them, and I lost one here. Actually lost 2 of them here on gas mileage before, so it's nice to win one this way.
All right, now you've won today. Can you win the 500 like you won the 600 back in Memorial Weekend?
Well, I'd like to hope so. We got some tuning up to do on the Dwelt car here in a little while in the happy hour, and see how good we can get it. It was okay this morning, but it needs to be a little bit better, I think, to run up front.
All right, well, congratulations on a great effort here today. That was a superb victory for Matt Kenseth. And we'll be back with more from Lowe's Motor Speedway. Katie and Matt Kenseth here in Victory Lane.
Of Busch Beer, proud sponsor of the NASCAR Busch Series.
Labor of love took on a whole new meaning when Kyle was born. 12 hours of labor.
One of life's most joyful moments can also be one of its most painful.
But take comfort, as so many women have, in Tylenol, the pain reliever doctors and hospitals choose most.
Come meet your little brother.
Hello. Tylenol, take comfort in our strength.
This is Mike. Mike sells muscle cars. But despite their 4-barrel carbs, their dual overhead cams, and their V8 engines, Mike's muscle cars didn't move very fast. So Mike went on cable TV. And that, as Mike would say, put the pedal to the metal. Cable advertising. It's easy, it's affordable, it works. AT&T Media Services. Get your ads worth.
We're all busy these days. So busy, sometimes we forget the important things. But at AT&T Broadband, we'd like to stop and say the most important thing. And to thank you for being a customer, you'll find some nice surprises in your bill. Like a coupon worth $10 to first-time customers at barnesandnoble.com. And a coupon for $10 off your favorite children's sports gear online at kidesport.com. Look for these and other nice surprises in the AT&T Connection newsletter inside your bill.
Welcome back to Lowe's Motor Speedway, everyone. That man in victory lane today, Matt Kenseth. This man right here, Jeff Green, protects his points lead today. I don't know how you did it. It looked like you were going to finish 8th, and then all of a sudden you finished 4th on that last run.
Yeah, we got lucky. Some of those guys run out of gas, but you know, we were good enough to be in the top 2 or 3, Marty. It's just that last set of good years we put on just didn't agree with me. Made my car real tight, and I couldn't go through the corners. But had a great day. You know, we was just kind of riding in that last stop, and then lo and behold, Jason and myself pitted at the same time. We both run into each other, so I screwed myself up and him. I hated it on that green flag stop. Lost a lot of track position. We were ahead of Matt before that, and thought we had a shot at winning, you know. But just kind of disappointed, but can't be disappointed with top 5.
I was going to ask you what happened on that pit stop.
Well, Jason pitted the lap before. I think he was supposed to come in the same lap I was, which would have put us in sync, but he was coming out as I was coming in. I thought he'd wait on me, and I guess he thought he'd wait on that I was going to wait on him, and it didn't happen. We just run into each other. We had to stop, and he had to back up, and then the 26 coming in front of me, and I had to back up. So it wouldn't have been so bad on the caution, but under green, man, those guys kill you. And I mean, I lost almost a half a track to Matt, and I was ahead of him when I come in. So it was a good day. I can't complain. After Dover, man, we needed anything, and all the guys, Harold and all the guys did a great job. This week at Charlotte, it's a tough week, and we got through it unscathed with the top 5. You can't complain about that.
Recovers from a rough finish at Dover 2 weeks ago to get another top 5. That's Jeff Green.
36th or better in the final 4 races will clinch the NASCAR Busch Series title for Jeff Green. NASCAR Winston Cup Happy Hour coming up next on TBS.
I am here to tell you, quit butting heads with the people who backed your campaign.
When politics become personal.
We're talking the President of the United States.
And the line between ally and enemy disappears. The fate of a nation comes down to who you trust.
Step away from the President.
Daryl Hannah, Doug Savant, and Gregory Harrison in a Superstation original movie. First target, October 15th, only on the Superstation.
I can tell by looking whether a vehicle's been driven hard or not. This guy's one of my regular customers. Scorched brake rotors, beat up oil pan, probably never takes his foot off the gas. He trusts me to make sure it performs, and I trust CarQuest Auto Parts. I mean, you never know. Someday you might need to give me a ride.
CarQuest for AC Delco Rapid Fire Spark Plugs. Older cars' engines can run rougher. Bring back that new car feel with AC Delco Rapid Fire Spark Plugs. CarQuest, the professional choice.
If you ever plan to motor west, take the highway that's the best. From Chicago to LA, 2,000 miles all the way. Hear your kids on Route 66.
Route 66. With so many outfits to put together, just because you're out of gas, it doesn't mean you'll be out of style.
On Route 66.
Route 66 jeans and clothes. Available at Big Kmart.
Every professional knows some jobs are held to a higher standard. Precision isn't an option, it's a requirement. So for the jobs that really count, you know, the ones that reputations are built on, the pros reach for Porter Cable. Because some crowds are just not easily impressed. Porter Cable, for the jobs that really count.
Dad, you could go now.
Coming up tomorrow, starting at 12:35 Eastern, it's the UAW GM Quality 500 as Jeff Gordon leads the pack down to the green flag. It's also the debut of TBS's No Brakes coverage. Thanks to many of our sponsors, you'll be able to see live racing during most of our commercials in tomorrow's broadcast. Well, there you take a look at the All-Pro Bumper to Bumper 300 today. Matt Kenseth has once again done it. Let's go to Mike Hogwood. He's standing by with Mark Martin.
It's back there, and if you haven't got your souvenir program, make sure you do. Not mistaken, the ticket office is still open.
I just don't think that last set of tires was quite as good as the middle set there. That middle set, we were pretty strong, especially on the long runs. We just, we had a great weekend with the Winn-Dixie car. The tire change threw us a curve, and we didn't recover from it as well as we might have. But all in all, we ran a lot better today than I thought we would.
Mark Martin with a great career in the Busch Series, especially here at Charlotte.
6 times a winner here in Grand National Racing. Mark Martin, his final performance here. More from Lowe's Motor Speedway after this.
While there are a lot of places where people buy parts for their car, the fact is more people choose AutoZone than any other. It's because we're the largest auto parts retailer in America, and they save money with our everyday low price. It's because more often than not, we have the part they need in stock. And it's because we're the place where they'll find a battery that's backed by a 3-year free replacement guarantee. Which is why we say, there's just no place better than AutoZone.
Still getting dandruff flakes? Maybe the problem is your dandruff shampoo. Try Neutrogena T-Gel Intensive Anti-Flake Shampoo. Fights flakes 3 ways. It may not be your first dandruff shampoo. It will be your last. Neutrogena T-Gel, it works.
Wherever you go, there's a neighbor close by who can fill you up when you're running a little low. Just look for the sign. Gas, food, and conversation. Citgo. See you around.
Well, folks, everything will be decided today.
If you want to win in today's world, you can't afford to go it alone. It takes teamwork and training to win, just like the winning team that builds quality cars and trucks on the assembly line. UAWGM, assembly line to finish line, teamwork wins.
This is how a single second of your weekend feels on a 155 horsepower XLT 1200 wave runner from Yamaha. So we thought you'd find it interesting to know that you get 172,800 seconds every single weekend. Yamaha, the most popular boat on the water.
Through October, get 000 financing until March 2001 on all new 2001 models.
Winston Cup stars getting ready for that final chance, that last chance to find out if you're really good for the UAW GM Quality 500 tomorrow. Dale Jarrett, now there's Rusty Wallace, the whole gang getting set down below, 43 strong, and you're going to see them all here live on TBS this afternoon. Let's go through the order of finish completely now. Kenseth winning with Mark Martin in his final performance at Lowe's Motor Speedway in second. Dave Blaney with an excellent run in third. Jeff Green, 36 or better from here on in, and he is the Grand National champion this year. Nemechek relegated to 5th spot as the car sputtered across at the finish. Mike Skinner came home with a good run today, and he was in 16th when it was all over. Randy LaJoy just barely in front of him. Kyle Petty from dead last brought that number 45 in memory of Adam Petty up to 17th. And looking further back in the field, there you see Jeff Purvis in 27th. Buckshot was just in front of him. Jeff thought he was going to have a much better day than that. Jimmy Johnson had that big fire on pit road. That was plenty costly to him. And then we get back into those that were damaged and beaten in that lap 3 episode that took out so many good cars here today as we got the event underway. We'll take a commercial break and be back with you once again at Lowe's Motor Speedway. Stay with us.
Here at Kawasaki, I want to take a moment to recognize the risk takers. Those who live on the edge. Those brave souls who buy another brand
of ATV.
Unit 1, we got him.
Now that takes guts. Don't settle for anything less than the comfort, reliability, and engineering of a Kawasaki ATV.
So that's your new car, the Aaron's Dream Machine.
Oh, yeah, ain't she a beauty? Of course, she don't compare to the wife, though.
Really, these are the true Aaron's Dream Machines, the products we all dream about owning.
And at Aaron's, everyone's automatically pre-approved with no credit required?
Yeah, and you get the guaranteed lowest price, too.
So you can afford the amazing Maytag Neptune washer and dryer, the best in the world. It saves you time, energy, and it actually removes tough stains.
And I'm really pre-approved?
That's right. So let Aaron's drive your dreams home today.
Question: can Imodium really change your life? Well, you might still find yourself trapped in the bathroom, pulling into every rest stop, stuck on the sidelines, or having one of those days when you just can't leave the house. Isn't it time to feel like you again? Imodium AD safely, gently relieves diarrhea, often in just one dose. Imodium AD. Restore yourself.
Bob.
Claire.
Bob.
Claire.
Michael.
Michael.
Bob? Claire?
Want your own monster truck? You can win one during Napa's Monster Truck Giveaway, or win one of over 5,000 mini monster trucks. Plus, save on hundreds of items. Enter at a participating Napa Auto Parts store today.
The All-Pro Bumper-to-Bumper Auto Parts 300 on the Superstation. Brought to you by Smooth Busch Beer and Easy Drinking Busch Light. Busch, the official sponsor of the NASCAR Busch Series. By NapaOnline.com, where everything great about Napa is now available online. By Aaron Sells and Lease Ownership for Less, racing to save you money. And by Imodium AD, restore yourself.
Pre-race entertainment will start at 9:30.
The site, the scene, Lowe's Motor Speedway. All is in readiness for tomorrow. For Matt Kenseth, be a quick changeover here from Busch Grand National chauffeur into being the pilot of number 17 in that Winston Cup race tomorrow. And we hope you're going to be with TBS for our live flag-to-flag coverage, 12:35 Eastern for the pre-race program. And starting next season, that new alliance begins between NBC and Turner. Qualifying Saturday, July 5th from Daytona Beach, Florida is where it will begin. And it will be just a terrific year, we think, with a lot of new and innovative ideas to be addressed, such as you're going to see tomorrow with our no breaks. That's BRAKES. There'll be a few commercial breaks, but other than that, generally through the entire broadcast tomorrow, a different look than what you've ever seen before, and we certainly hope you'll be here to enjoy it and maybe pass along a word or two about what you think about it. So we're just about ready to get the happy hour going. Happy for some. It'll be very difficult for others. And we thank you for joining us this afternoon. So stay right with us, because right now, 43 cars are getting ready to try this mile-and-a-half track. Stay tuned for NASCAR's Happy Hour, coming up next on the Superstation.